It's about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
If it were to end right here and everyone on their feet at Dodger Stadium.
Shohei Ohtani on his bobblehead night. First pitch swinging, high drive, left center field, at the wall. Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing! He's headed home, and once again, the Dodgers walk off winners!
On your bobblehead night, you hit a walk-off home run. Is there anything that guy can't do? Is there? Is there anything? Well, of course, he still can't pitch, but
he did a bullpen session.
No, look out. He's coming. He's coming. Shohei Ohtani with the flair for the dramatics, as heard on the Los Angeles Dodgers radio network. 6-5 last night as Chavez Ravine to raise their record to 8-0. So there's the Dodgers, the Padres, and everybody else right now. Those two teams that was the National League Championship Series, right? The Padres were the other team in the NLCS last year. Yeah,
I believe they were.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those were the two top teams in the National League last year, and it appears they are the two top teams in the National League.
Oh no, it was the Mets last year.
Was
I
it
should
the
say.
Mets?
It was the Mets.
Oh, okay.
The Mets went ahead and they beat the Padres.
The Dodgers beat the Padres in the division series. That's what it was. 8-0. So this winning streak for them tops the 1993 Yankees for the longest winning streak to begin a season for a reigning champion. You remember the 1993 Yankees, don't you, Dragon Ball?
I was born in the year 93. so not that vividly.
Years before you were born. They had a couple guys that weren't too bad. One guy named Lou Gehrig, another guy named Babe Ruth was on that team. Yeah, they were pretty good. The Braves finished their road trip with 7 losses in 7 games. That is equally as impressive as what the Dodgers have done.
I mean, there's
to start the season.
There's fame and then there's infamy. I think I would prefer to have fame over infamy, because usually infamy is when you do something that's really, really bad.
You heard how it sounded on the Dodgers radio network. Let's hear how it sounded on the Atlanta Braves radio network.
It's Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night, and 50,000 plus in unison stand as he climbs into the left-hand batter's box. He's 2 for 4 in the game. Iglesias goes to work. First pitch swinging in a fly ball, deep center field. Michael Harris back to the wall. Michael leaps. It is gone. And on his bobblehead night, Shohei Ohtani dishes the Braves a crushing blow. It's a walk-off home run and an 0-7 road trip for the Braves.
It wouldn't be LA without the cueing of "I Love LA" in the background.
I mean, that's just the New York of the West
exactly.
Coast.
It is, and it's much better. Sounds much better from my liking than what we get at Yankee Stadium, for sure. You'll hear a lot of we're 1 week. We're 1 week into the baseball season. You'll hear a lot of baseball play-by-play on this show just because I'm a retired Bush League baseball announcer and still love to listen to the game, old school, on the radio. So I'll try to give you the great calls throughout the season when we have them. But, what the Dodgers are doing right now as the heads on. And, again, we had this conversation at the end of last year that I think it was we did a question of the day late in the season. Like, is there pressure on the team that's not supposed to win versus the team that is supposed to win? And they are the clear favorites. I mean, most of the media has already handed them the trophy for this year, not for last year, but for this year. And for them to come out of the gate and go 8-0 to meet those expectations in the first 8 days of the season is just phenomenal. What this Dodgers team has been able to do. And I know we hate to talk about it because they are in our division, and every time they win, and thank goodness the Diamondbacks are winning to keep pace. We joked about it yesterday. You know, you're already 3 games out because these two teams called the Dodgers and the Padres, you thought you signed Corbin Burns to keep up. Yeah. I don't know. So, again, I mean, it's a long season, but if you're in the Diamondbacks dugout, like, how are you feeling right now knowing, oh, my God, like, there's no way. I mean, now, granted, the Dodgers are not going to go 162-0, but it's clear that they're going to be really tough to beat this season. So, I mean, that's got to be frustrating if you're sitting in the Dodgers the Diamondbacks dugout, the Giants dugout. Every year is frustrating if you're sitting in the Rockies dugout. So I don't think this year is any different than any other year. But man, that team is just loaded for bear, and they're going to be a juggernaut, I think, for the majority of this season. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Dragon Ball is in the driver's seat today. We haven't talked to you. When's the last time we talked to you, Dragon Ball? It's been a while.
Probably been about last week.
Okay, so we haven't. Have we talked to you? You were here Friday, so we got your thoughts on the end of the basketball season.
We talked about the end of the NCAA tournament.
There we go. What do you think about the opening of the transfer portal? We talked at length about that yesterday. Obviously, Henry Vesar is in it. Conrad Martinez is now in it. Also, KJ Lewis is in it. Emmanuel Stephan is in it. So 4 players from the men's side, 7 players from the women's side are in the transfer portal. Over, I think I said 1,100 women, 1,700 men are in the transfer portal. 2,800 basketball players are trying to change schools and the season's not even over yet.
Yeah, it's rough, but the main thing about it is that it always makes me laugh looking at the transfer portal window when it opens, because when you hear that a guy is going in the portal, you look at, oh, well, I guess he joined a new squad and he didn't get a lot of time. I had to double check. Apparently, I forgot Conrad Martinez had been here for 2 years, not just the 1 year. Yeah. But that's just it, is that he had so little on-court time that I honestly thought that he came in just this season. I didn't realize he was on the squad for 2 years. So for some guys, it makes sense in regards to playing time and things of that nature. Emmanuel Stephan, you got to wonder what the situation is going to be with the center position if Vesar were to stay, which obviously we know he probably will not, and if Krivas does return healthy, which everyone hopes that he will, and probably the logjam at center there if they're going to try to go with a bit more of a wing/guard heavy rotation with guys like Koa Peak coming in. And LeBron James's other son, again, it's Bryce James coming in. I don't want to call him Bronny 2 or anything like that because that's just disrespectful. But nonetheless, it's you wonder where everybody's going to get their minutes and things like that. So that's where I think the transfer portal is fine. If people are transferring just because there's a bit more of an opportunity for me somewhere else, that's a little bit more of a, are you transferring for the right reasons? And then as someone who's a part of the show who's most recently been to college, I can say this in that I can't imagine going through orientation in 4 different universities. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah.
And granted, again, freshman orientation, you only really do it once. But when you have to orientate yourself to 4 different campuses over the course of 4 years, are you going to school for the education or are you just there to play ball?
I got to learn another fight song? What are you talking about?
I got to learn another fight song. I got to learn the new meal plan policies because that's going to be something. I'm sure not every university has the same meal plan policy.
Not at all. And then he didn't give us the name, but J-Dub's off today. But he texted that there's a kid that transferred, what did he say, from Gonzaga to
GCU.
GCU?
Yeah.
Hey, nothing against GCU, but it was, okay, so Dusty Stromer is his name. He's out of Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame, so he's a Valley boy. I guess I'm not gonna start bagging on Valley boys, but whatever. So Dusty Stromer is in the transfer portal. Let's see what his numbers were. He averaged 5 points. All right, but he was a former top 50 recruit.
35% from deep.
Yeah, 66 or 6'6" sophomore out of Sherman Oaks, 5 points last year. Former top 50 recruit. So clearly couldn't get on the floor at Gonzaga and wants to play. So again, there you go. I mean, that's not. I wasn't sure. Like J-Dub texted us that this morning. I wasn't sure if this was like a starter, like a frontline starter or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the guy from Gonzaga to GCU. Good for GCU. They got themselves a former top 50 player as they continue to try to put that program on the map. 520-848-1290 is the number. A lot to get to on our show today. We're going to chat with Desiree Reed-Francois. We always do on Thursday. She is the athletics director at the University of Arizona. We got a couple more Territorial Cup Series matchups coming up this weekend. Of course, on the baseball field, the fellows will be headed up to Tempe. Beach volleyball down here. That is on Saturday as well. Beach volleyball did not fare well the last time they played ASU. I think they were shut out, and as a matter of fact, 5-0. So they'll be looking to rebound there. We'll get Desiree Reed-Francois' thoughts on all of that, as well as the NCAA tournament trek that she went on with the Wildcats to Seattle and to Newark, New Jersey. Fred Harvey is going to join us as well on the show. The longtime track director, the longest tenured head coach in the University of Arizona athletics department right now. The Jim Click Multis are coming up this weekend, and so it's also going to be reunion weekend for U of A track. 100 alums from the track program expected to be back this weekend, so we'll get Fred's thoughts on all of that. And also you'll hear, of course, the spring practice today for the football team, practice number 8. So we've now turned to the downside of the 15 practice program, 7 more practices to go. We'll hear from defensive coordinator Danny Gonzalez coming up a little bit later on the show as well. We want to hear from you, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We opened the show talking about Shohei Ohtani. I think we should probably make that the question of the day today. How should we phrase it, though, is the question I think I'm still struggling with here. Should we phrase it, David, as will the Dodgers win the National League West? Or I'm trying to think of another way we can phrase that one.
Do you take the Dodgers or the field in the AFC,
there you go.
the National League West?
Dodgers or the field in the National League West. I like that.
Considering that was the question that going into the national tournament that I brought up, where it was said SEC or the field. I was proven wrong. I'll admit that wholeheartedly. But nonetheless.
Yeah. There will be at least one SEC team in the national championship game. Doesn't mean they'll win. I mean, I've got Florida in my bracket, so that's and we'll let you know. We got some odds coming up a little bit later. Our BetMGM network on Auburn. If you Auburn is the least likely in terms of the odds to win the national championship. So if you want to bet on Auburn, you've got a chance to actually win some money if they do find a way to take the title.
I blame St. John's for this.
Now, why do you blame St. John's for this?
A 2 seed losing to Arkansas? Come on, man.
Hey, John Calipari, man. Don't mess with John Calipari when he's got an underrated squad. I almost think that guy's better as a head coach when he doesn't have 4 lottery picks or 4 McDonald's All-Americans than when he does. I mean, he could actually coach when he's got, some guys that
he took a squad with a bunch of like random kids and Derrick Rose to a Final Four.
Well, I was living in Memphis that year. Absolutely within a few free throws of winning the national championship. But those guys could. Oh man, that still hurts. That still hurts to remember that game in April of 2008. That was about 3 or 4 months before I moved out here. Still remember watching that game in Memphis and thinking, wow, this is actually going to happen. They're actually going to find a way to win this title. And it did not get finished. All right, DK on the sports tip. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. The Cardinals are in the news. We'll talk about that. They are just throwing money around in the valley between the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. I can't keep up with all the money that they're throwing around. We need some of that money to throw around here, down here in Tucson, to some of the Arizona Wildcats. You said you had mentioned the possibility, Dragon Ball, of Henry Vasar coming back. Do you have $2 million? Because that's probably what it's going to take.
I mean, I don't personally have $2 million.
Okay, well then I don't think he's staying. That's the big deal. We talked a lot about that yesterday. That's the big thing, the big difference. And, we'll talk about this more later. We got to get to the break because Desiree Reed-Francois is coming up. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Irvington near I-19 west of I-19 on Irvington NK Santa Cruz. Alvernon and Drexel and Alvernon are crash. Slowdowns westbound Speedway at I-10, also busy for westbound Grant Road at I-10. 46 the overnight low, 25% chance of rain tonight. 64 partly cloudy with a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come. Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycation vacations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First choice pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, first choice is the only choice.
Folks, we're living in uncertain times. Market volatility, massive debt, and economic instability are still threats to your hard-earned savings. That's why Advantage Gold and I want you to join me on March 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Gold and Silver Summit, an exclusive event where you'll learn how to build your own strategic wealth reserve with physical precious metals. If you've been thinking about getting help, protecting your assets, and securing your future, this is the event for you. That's March 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Gold and Silver Summit. Learn how to build your own strategic wealth reserve with physical precious metals. Don't wait until it's too late. Text MAGA to 85545 right now. That's MAGA to 85545. Reserve your spot. That's MAGA to 85545. That's MAGA to 85545, and we'll see you there. Message and data rates apply. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other. Sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Who wins the National League West? Dodgers or the field? That's our question of the day. Let's talk some Arizona athletics with the athletics director at the University of Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois, joins us. Now, Desiree, if I'm not mistaken, you are from Northern California, correct?
I am. Fremont, California.
Okay, so
Fifth generation California.
Are you a Giants fan or an A's fan?
Oh, I'm a diehard Oakland A's fan, and some of my best memories were my brother and my mom. I don't know how she let us do this because my mom was really strict, but she used to give us like $20, and Roman and I would take the BART from Fremont to the Hegenberger exit. We crossed the bridge and we wait until the third inning, because if you wait until the third inning, you could go in for free, and then we'd use the extra money and we buy extra malts.
Wow. So what did you just hung out for the first 3 innings?
Yeah, we would just literally wait outside the Coliseum until the first. Yeah. Oh, man, we used to go to so many A's games. You know, my grandmother, when she passed away, she was buried in her right hand. She had her rosary. We're good Catholics. And then in her left hand, she had her Oakland A's hat.
Wow.
She insisted on being buried with her A's hat. Like, we are strong. I mean, from the days of, like, my grandmother, we talk about Catfish Hunter and, like, Ricky Henderson, Bash Brothers. Oh, man, like, we love the Oakland A's. So it breaks my heart to see them move from Oakland.
Yeah. So do you remember A's broadcaster Monty Moore on TV? Do you remember him at all?
Vaguely.
Okay.
We would actually, yeah, I would listen a lot more on the radio.
Oh, okay. So
KNBR.
you're a Bill King guy, or Bill King lady.
Oh, gosh, yes. Bill King, KNBR. He used to do the Raiders, too.
Oh, yeah. That is true. All right, so I was down Monday night for the career fair. Just an absolutely awesome event that you guys put together down there. All the athletes were in. I was really impressed. Pretty much it seemed like every athlete in the building was out Monday night. 70 companies from around southern Arizona came out to talk about, what potential paths could be out there for these student athletes. Just what were your thoughts on the event as a whole?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for being there. Our student athletes, it was a mandatory event for them, and we were so proud of the way that they came together. We were so thankful for our community. You're right, we had almost 80 employers there. The student athletes had practiced like networking and elevator pitches for the 2 weeks before. It was a really special event. And we talk about in the athletic department, we want after student athlete graduates, 100% of our student athletes to have a job or be in graduate school. And this is one of those steps to ensure that. And hey, we know it's a hard economy. We want to do everything possible to position our student athletes for success. They are incredible leaders. People see them as what they do on the court or in the water or on the field, but these are incredible leaders that are resilient. They know how to make others around them better. So employers, hiring a student athlete, you will never be disappointed.
That event obviously was put together by Dr. Sophia Reed over at Cats Athletics, the Cats Athletics Development. It used to be called Cats Academics. What was your vision when you first came in and you saw that program? Is it similar to programs? Had you had similar programs like that at the schools you'd been at, Missouri and UNLV? And how did you want to continue to shape that particular entity to move it forward in assisting student athletes?
Well, quite frankly, it was when we first got here, we set that vision that we want 100% of our student athletes to have a full-time job or be in graduate school when they graduate. And I meet with hundreds of recruits and their parents, and we talk about the 50. So let's take a football player. Say they graduate from the University of Arizona at 22. If they go and they play in the NFL for, say, 4.3 years, which I think is the average, that takes them to 26 years. If the average life expectancy is 76.6 years, that means there's 50 years with which that student's going to impact the world. And I talked to their parents, and we promised them an incredible education, a championship experience. And I also tell them, I can never make your son a better football player or your daughter a better swimmer. But what I care about is how are they going to impact the world in those 50 years. And this career fair is one of those initiatives that we've done at other schools, but we just want to make it a really meaningful experience and a step towards that pathway to that future 50.
Desiree Reed-Francois joining us, the athletic director at the University of Arizona. Desiree, I know you were probably traveling back from the East Coast at the beginning of the weekend, but whoa, was there an unbelievable women's tennis match over at the Robson facility. We were out there to witness the comeback to beat the Sun Devils. Tremendous victory for that young program that Ryan Stotland is really doing a tremendous job with.
He really has. I was just over in the training room on my way over to the men's tennis match, and I was talking with a couple of our women's tennis players. Their culture, it really is shining through, and that was their first win against ASU since 2014. Mm-hmm. So I was getting their sport administrator is a woman by the name of Morgan Basil Dominic, and she played tennis at Boise State actually at the same time as Clancy.
Oh, wow.
So they're good friends, and Morgan is the biggest tennis advocate that you can imagine. If it were up to Morgan, we would probably, we would build a brand new tennis center, and oh goodness. But she was giving me minute by minute updates, and gosh, we were so excited.
And we've got more matchups against the Sun Devils coming up this weekend as we power through the Territorial Cup Series. Wildcats currently leading 9.5 to 6.5. Got to get to 12, so still got to get to 2.5 more points out of these final 6 sports to go. Beach volleyball will be hosting, and the baseball team is on the road this weekend. They got a victory earlier in the season against the Sun Devils. It's always fun, no matter what the sport is, to take on the rival.
Absolutely, and I'm going to be driving up tomorrow night to see our baseball team take on that school up north, and I'm fired up for that series. And yep, you're right. First team to 11.5 points wins, and we won last year 12-10, and that's what we're looking to do again.
It's always close. I think there's been one blowout. I think Arizona, like in the second year of the series, won by 4 or 5 points. But other than that, it's been a pretty tight race the entire time through. Desiree, give us kind of a report on your travels with the basketball team, Seattle, and then to the East Coast, how that went, what you experienced, anything you saw that really kind of might, you guys might try to put in the works here at the University of Arizona?
It was so wonderful seeing our fans. They traveled. I was just so appreciative. We had a great student contingent in Seattle, and we had a lot of donor events, and it was just the spirit and the passion was so inspiring. So I was very thankful for our fans. And also we were able to connect with fans that maybe don't live in the state of Arizona, that are in the Pacific Northwest, and same thing in Newark, New Jersey. We had a lot of folks that are Wildcats from New York and all throughout that Northeast area, and it was just great to see them. The logistics were wonderful. I flew back and forth. I flew back to Tucson for President Garamella's installation, so was able to go back and meet the team, and it was just a wonderful tournament experience. So just very appreciative of our fans. That was my big takeaway.
Pleased to be joined by Desiree Reed-Francois, Athletics Director at the University of Arizona. Desiree, I want to ask you a question that we got on the air on Monday. A woman called, and she said she's so frustrated by the transfer portal and seeing the players that she follows. She was talking specifically about men's and women's basketball enter into the portal, and she essentially asked us what we would tell fans about how to handle that. I want to pitch that question to you because you're right in the middle of it. What do you tell fans of the Wildcats about how to get through this era that we're living in now, where the kids that they're cheering for in 2024 and starting to love might not be here in 2025?
Well, it is certainly, I can understand fans' frustration and their concerns, but you know what? The University of Arizona never changes. This is a really special place, and we are going through the biggest transformation in college sports history. Now, we're about to go into the most likely, assuming that Judge Wilkins signs or ratifies the settlement on April 7th, and it could be that day, it could be a week from then, we don't know. So we are making plans as if that settlement will go through, and if so, revenue share will be revenue share is going to help give us a little more order to this really challenging time that we are living in. But, two things that don't change. In the end, we're still about educating and mentoring young people. And that's why that career event was so special, and why those just deliberate interactions with our student athletes and getting to know them as so much more than a number, that will never change. In the end, these are someone's sons and daughters, and we have a responsibility to educate them and to mentor them and help them achieve their hopes and dreams. And the second thing that's never going to change is our job is to help our student athletes, our coaches, our staff to connect with the community. We have to connect with these new student athletes. Maybe the days of us having a student athlete for 4 or 5 years, maybe that will change a little bit. I do think that some of these bumps and bruises that we're going through as we're transforming, they're going to get better. But like any massive change, you are going to have those bumps and bruises. But we're going to come out on the end, and we're going to remember that we have the privilege of bringing people together, and we're all cheering for the Wildcats.
A lot of questions, Desiree, surrounding the current state of the women's basketball program. What update can you give us on what your mindset is there? You've got a coach in Adia Barnes who's about to potentially go into a season without a new contract. Update us on what you can about the status there.
Well, we are going to give Coach every opportunity. And you just talked a little bit about the transitory nature and how things have, people are transferring in and transferring out. And, we are seeing a little bit of a change. So we're going to give Coach Barnes every opportunity to be successful like we do with all of our coaches. We support all of our coaches and going to make sure that we're providing the excellence around them. And that's what we're going to do with Coach Barnes.
There you go. Desiree Reed-Francois. She is the athletics director at the University of Arizona. Any Big 12 news of note as we get into this spring phase that folks would be interested in hearing about?
We're just really looking at our spring sports. I think all five of our spring sports are in the top 25. And, I'm really excited about softball. How about 31-6? And this is our best start since 2017, and hope to see everyone out there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know, Friday, I'm bummed I'm going to miss it because I think it's ice cream sandwiches for the students.
Oh, boy.
But I will be there. Over the weekend and want to support Coach Lowe like we do with all of our coaches.
Oh, wait, and we had to ask you, we saw the football team also, and Oklahoma State is coming in for that softball series, huge game, a huge weekend there. With the the team that most people had picked to win the conference this year. We saw the football team announce their themes for last year. We were wanting to know what is Retro Night going to be? We saw that was going to be on one of the games. What is Retro Night? Does that mean we were talking about the I guess that means, like, are we dressing up as the 80s, the 90s? What exactly is that going to be?
Hey, more details to come, David. Just wait. It's going to be fun.
All right. Well, we'll wait and find out exactly. I got to know what outfit I got to get for that particular ball game. So.
All right. Bear down, David.
Thank you, Desiree. Desiree Reed-Francois. She is the athletics director at the University of Arizona. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Busy traffic across town. We got some slowing on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells, westbound Grant at I-10, westbound Speedway Boulevard at I-10. There's some earlier light freeway slowing on eastbound I-10 as you approach Star Pass. Ajo and Mission, westbound and southbound, also slow. 40-60 overnight low, 25% chance of rain tonight, 64 partly cloudy, with a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, and 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
The Territorial Cup Series hits the diamond this weekend.
Pitch to Kane, hit deep to right field. Looking up, and it is out of here.
It's the Wildcats and the Sun Devils in Tempe. Game 1 coverage begins Friday night at 6:15. First pitch, 6:30 right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Let's bet Duke. I'm Sammy Peep, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite over Houston in the round of 4. They should win, and they will be favored in the national title game. The price right now at BetMGM, minus 110 to win the whole thing. I still think it's worth it. They are winning next Monday night. I'm Sammy P from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today, and please gamble responsibly.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
So we bid farewell to Goldie the goldfish as she journeys to that big pond in the sky. Amen.
She's still there, Dad.
What?
Goldie's still there. She didn't flip.
Because Dad didn't use Picture Rock's cooling, heating, and plumbing, this little pet funeral is going to take a long time.
All right. We therefore commend our Goldie once again to the appropriate place.
Still there, Dad.
Picture Rock's cooling, heating, and plumbing, making sure all your plumbing is working the way it's supposed to.
And so, Goldie, we bid thee farewell.
Still there!
Burgers sound great. Let's find a spot nearby. Wow, nothing? Oh well. Everybody okay with pizza instead?
Can she seriously not see us?
No, she can't. Time to get a boost. Get found and get on the map. Learn more at CumulusBoost.com.
This is Bill Ryder of the Sports Minute, sponsored by Fisher Investments. Welcome to the Dodgers dynasty. The defending champions are 8-0. They think they can win every game, and they're loaded with former MVPs. Oh, and they've got this Shohei Ohtani guy, who in last night's Dodgers game hit a walk-off home run. The exclamation point behind the fact that the Dodgers, like it or not, are America's newest dynasty. I'm Bill Ryder.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
There you go. Diamondbacks, Yankees coming up in mere minutes at Yankee Stadium. Final game of a 3-game set to start this 6-game road trip for the Snakes, which will continue after tonight in the nation's capital for the weekend against the Washington Nationals. Things got off to a quick and fabulous start for the Diamondbacks last night in the very first inning against Carlos Rodon.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on. That is absolutely blasted. Gone if it's fair. Hooking towards the corner. It is gone. Oh, massive home run from Gurriel. Hooks it inside the left field foul pole, and the D-backs jump in front 2-0.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. putting the Snakes on top early. Arizona would add a couple of more runs in the second inning on a sac fly by Luis Perdomo and an RBI single by Ketel Marte. And that was really all they needed because Zach Gallen, the ace of my fantasy team, had it going in the Bronx.
I think a lot of teams have a scattering report that says do your best to lay off the Zach Gallen curve. 3-2 now. Tried it again. Check swing. He went around, and Judge strikes out. The inning is over. Nice job by Gallen. 1-2, swing and a miss. Dominguez swung right over the top of another curve. Swing and a foul tip. That's strike 3. And Gallen with back-to-back strikeouts to strand 2 in scoring position. The first and last 99 that'll ever be worn by a Yankee. As the 1-2. Curveball, swing and a miss. And he struck him out. No surprise for Gallen. He seems to be striking out everyone, including Judge for the third time.
And we're here in the 7th, and that might have been the hardest hit curveball of the night, and a ball pulled foul. That's just how good that pitch has been. He's been able to dump it in the bottom of the strike zone and then throw it even lower for swings and misses.
Swing and a miss on the 3-2. And another strikeout for Gallen. Make it a baker's dozen here for the Milkman. Call to the bullpen. That's it for Gallen. A masterful bounce back from Thursday's loss to the Cubs. He strikes out 13 in 6 2/3 innings.
6 2/3 shutout innings. Those 13 Ks matching a career high for Zach Gallen. He would hand it over to Joe Mantiply and then Ryan Thompson, who were Mantiply good. Thompson put a couple of guys on in the 9th inning, and then A.J. Puck was brought on, and once again, like he had against the Cubs, had a one bad pitch.
1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's your ball game. Diamondbacks win it by a final score of 4-3.
But that was his last pitch, and it was the good one there. He gave up a home run there, a 3-run home run to Anthony Volpe to turn a 4-0 game into 4-3. But Puck picks up his second save, and for the first time this is mind-boggling to me. For the first time in the history of the franchise, the Diamondbacks have won a series at Yankee Stadium. I can't believe they'd never done that before.
I mean, West Coast to East Coast travel is usually not a beneficiary to the West Coast traveling team. I mean, that goes back to all sports, just with the travel and everything like that. I'm not too shocked by that. I am shocked that you got to go back that far away to get that series win in the Bronx.
That's crazy. I mean, obviously these two teams played in the 2001 World Series, but to think that you'd never won a series there, that's wow. That was something to hear for sure. Lourdes Gurriel got things going early. You heard the English version. How about the Spanish version?
Para hacer la narración de un partido. Lanzamiento, allá va el batazo profundo. Sólido para jardín izquierdo. La bola va para atrás, para atrás, para atrás. Para la calle Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Su segundo de la temporada. 2-0 Arizona en el primer episodio.
That is the Diamondbacks Spanish radio network with that call right there. Let's hear from Mr. Gurriel Jr. after the game, talking about the attack plan early. The Snakes got 4 runs in the first 2 innings against the Yanks' Carlos Rodon.
Bueno, siempre que tú tienes un pitcher como ese calibre, tratas de atacarle siempre adelante, ¿no? Y eso fue lo que hicimos hoy.
Anytime you get a pitcher from that caliber, you try to attack early, and they try to get on him early on the count.
There you go. That was Lourdes and Orlando Vaez, who's the interpreter there for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was not very comfortable last night at Yankee Stadium in terms of the weather. It was a cold, cold night, to say the least, something that the Diamondbacks are not really used to playing in. but they got through it. They got a victory. Torey Lovullo after the game.
It was a great win on a bitterly cold night. We're not entirely used to that. We have an amazing venue that we play at. We're 74 degrees. Opening series, you win the first 2 games, and your team comes out in the second game and is fighting from the first pitch on. So I was really proud of that. It was Gurriel who got us that 2-point lead, and then Zach really took over from there. So it was a really good game. I know they clipped us late in the game, but that happens and we won it. That's all that matters.
Was this vintage Zach Gallen? I've asked that a few times over the years.
I think so. Yeah. The body language, the way he was getting the ball back from the catcher, stepping on the mound, delivering pitches. He had a 4-pitch mix, maybe more, depending on what he's going to tell you about his cutter, but it was fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. And just reading swings, he and Gabby got into an incredible rhythm, and they took it from there.
You talked about the body language. Can we read confidence into that?
I think so. I think anytime you have success with some of the things that you're really working on and you have these types of results, it's bound to make you feel good. He's going to have a good night's rest, and I'm sure he can't wait for 5 days from now.
Let's circle back to Lourdes and just his impact in 2 of the last 3 games. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think there were some really good swings in the last game we played at home, and he finally clipped that ball for the game-tying home run. But prior to that, I thought he had some really good at-bats in the game. So good hitters hit, and it's a matter of time when they're struggling before they get that feel and start to deliver blows. It was not an easy game for either team to play, I can guarantee you that, but he came out and made a strong statement.
There you go. That is Torey Lovullo, the manager of your Arizona Diamondbacks, who take the first two games in the series from the New York Yankees. They will go for a sweep tonight. First pitch coming up in about 15 minutes at Yankee Stadium. Snakes have won 3 games in a row now, going back to their win in the final game of the series against the Chicago Cubs. Merrill Kelly, cousin Merrill, on the mound tonight. 1-0. Pretty good first time out, 5 1/3. Did walk 4. A lot of walks. He and both Gallen both walked a lot of guys in their first outing. So hopefully cousin Merrill takes the ball and from Zach Gallen and continues the success. It'll be Carlos Carrasco, Cookie, on the mound tonight for the Yankees. It pains me to see Cookie wearing a Yankees jersey, but I hope he has a whole lot of success there. First pitch coming up at 7:05 tonight. Favorite tonight on the money line is the New York Yankees at -150. Your over-under tonight is 9.5. If you take the over, what was it? Did we reach the over? I think it was over again. No, I think it was under last night because only 7 runs scored with that weather.
Yeah.
And the under tonight is even. So even money on your 12.90 bet. And the run line tonight is Yankees -1.5 runs at +140. So the bet there to win money is to take the Yankees and lay that -1.
Now, what's your feelings about it? Seems like the Diamondbacks are kind of leaning on A.J. Puck to be the closer. The 2 games that they've had where a save opportunity has been there, it has been Puck.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly the way that's gone. And I'd have to look at the matchups to see if it was, lefties. I didn't look at that as closely, but certainly that's the way it has gone. I mean, Torey Lovullo still has not come out and said that he's doing anything other than looking at the matchups and playing the pieces where they need to be pieces. Justin Martinez was obviously absolutely fabulous on Monday night in striking out the side. We'll see who gets the ball tonight with the matchup if the save situation is needed. But I think Puck has gone the first 2 nights in this series, so I'd be hard-pressed to think that maybe you put him out there 3 days in a row, so potentially Martinez gets the opportunity tonight.
Hoping for a good
needed.
Hoping for a good version of A Midsummer Night's Dream if Puck is on the mound.
There you go. Because really, it's funny because you look at it now. I mean, you go back to that last outing, which was absolutely, he had been so strong after the trade deadline when the Diamondbacks got him last year. Then he had that poor last outing when he gave up like 3 runs in the 9th inning, and then that unfortunately is kind of carried. He's already given up 2 home runs this season. So I don't know but he's gotten the 2 saves. I mean, he's had breathing room in both of those games, but I am, again, another guy that's on my fantasy team. We'll be talking a lot about my fantasy team this year just because I have a lot of Diamondbacks. I have a lot of Guardians. And so, yeah, I'm a little concerned, though, that he has already given up 2 home runs. I mean, the AJ Puck, when he was with the Marlins, was very kind of up and down. And so let's hope that this is not a trend in the wrong direction because, yeah, it's a little scary. 3 outings this year, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 home runs.
2 homers.
Yeah. So
they're not just been hits, they've been bombs.
Yeah, they have been bombs for sure. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We'll have your full BetMGM top plays coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Fred Harvey is going to join us. We'll hear from Danny Gonzalez, the defense coordinator for your Arizona football team, in the 5 o'clock hour. And we'll also get into a pretty good night on the hardwood for an Arizona alum. My name is David Kelly. His name is Dragon Ball, and he's got everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Well, again, looking at the eyes on the transfer portal right now for both the men and women's basketball team as we have more news coming out for both. Joining Henry Vesar, Emmanuel Stefan, and KJ Lewis in the portal, men's guard Conrad Martinez officially is entering the portal after 2 seasons with the Arizona Wildcats program. That leaves 5 scholarship players on the roster, not including Carter Bryant. Many assume that he could be a potential NBA draft pick this season. On the women's side, Jada Williams officially completes her transfer portal journey. She is going to Big 12 rival Iowa State. The Cyclones, the only team in the conference to outdraw Arizona last season when it came to crowd sizes. Right now, the women's side currently has 6 players on their roster, including the potentially returning Montea Dew. Still no word about her future in the portal as well. Not a bad bounce back for Zach Gallen. We just talked about it against the Yankees here as a baker's dozen for the Milkman.
And he's really locked in tonight, and this is vintage Zach Gallen. That's just how good that pitch has been. He's been able to dump it in the bottom of the strike zone and then throw it even lower for swings and misses.
Swing and a miss on the 3-2, and another strikeout for Gallen. Make it a baker's dozen here for the Milkman.
Again, a baker's dozen for the Milkman. The Yankees officially dropped the series against the Diamondbacks, losing their first 2 games there. 3-game sweep potential here as the Yanks go against Merrill Kelly with first pitch at just about 4 o'clock. Fresh off trading for the Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith, the Raiders look to be settled with their former West Virginia star quarterback as the officially agreed with 2-year contract extension. Rejoining his old coach in Seattle and Pete Carroll, Smith hopes to go and provide some stability at the quarterback position after struggling for a few years since they left Derek Carr behind. And I'm Dragon Ball with the 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing on westbound Valencia, approaching and passing I-19. Also some slowing on westbound I-10 between Valencia and Irvington, Palo Verde. More backups, Mission and Ajo, southbound and westbound, and also on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. For your weather, 46 the overnight low. There is a 25% chance of some showers tonight. 64 partly cloudy with a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, and 65 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Your home for U of A football.
Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Arizona.
Men's basketball.
Midcourt. Shot is up. Good.
And baseball.
Here comes the winning run. And the Cats have won it.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to Southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
The Territorial Cup Series hits the diamond this weekend.
Pitch to Kane, hit deep to right field. Looking up, and it is out of here.
It's the Wildcats and the Sun Devils in Tempe. Game 1 coverage begins Friday night at 6:15. First pitch, 6:30, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska Vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska Vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska Vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska Vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska Vacation, it will always blow strong.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station, your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
35 seconds to go in the period. There's Ovechkin score! Career goal number 892.
Perfect pass here by Jacob Chicken, right in the wheelhouse. Ovechkin shoots it back the other way against Freddie Anderson. He's ready, stick cocked, and just absolutely lets the dart go right up over the pad.
No hockey tonight for Alex Ovechkin, but he'll be back on the ice tomorrow night for the Washington Capitals as they take on the Chicago Blackhawks at home, closing in on Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record. We talked a little bit about this last week. It's one of those records that has stood for a long, long time. He's got now goals in 3 straight games, 4 of the last 5, 892 career goals, 2 away from tying Gretzky at 894, 3 away from the record, 7 games remaining to break it. In 59 games this season, Ovechkin has scored 2 or more goals 5 times. He also has a pair of hat tricks this season.
Oh, man. I am going to eat so much crow if he breaks that record after what I said. Man. And I want to give some context to this as well. I want to make sure everyone's aware. I know Ovechkin's a great goal scorer. I've been watching hockey for a long time. The man had only scored 8 goals going into January of this year. All right? He only had scored
maybe
8.
he's just trying to get warmed up. It's cold on the ice.
He was returning from a fractured fibula on December 28th, DK. I had every intention in my mind to think they'll put him on the first line. They're going to finish him. Maybe if this is the last season in the Capitals uniform or his career, I don't know which. If they're going to finish it off, they're going to put him on the first line. And maybe he'll get like a couple, but I don't think he's going to keep this goals. Oh, he scored 24 goals in 41 games since then. This is a rocket pace that I think that if he had not gotten injured, there's a chance that Ovechkin, based on the averages that you're looking at, he probably would have been a 50-goal scorer this season had he not been injured, if he was going to score at this pace, which would have been even more impressive in my mind at his current age.
Yeah, how's he doing it at this age?
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you how he was doing it at this age. The man is a machine working off of that one-timer that we just heard. He's 39 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still doing it at an amazing pace. Congratulations to him. Again, still 3 away from breaking the all-time goals record. But nonetheless, I mean, that's no easy feat considering how much adversity he had to just get back to playing in this season.
Capitals a 9-point lead over the Carolina Hurricanes for best record right now in the Eastern Conference. They're just a point back of the Winnipeg Jets for the best overall record right now. So, again, pretty 75 games they've played. They're 48, 18, and 9. So far this season in the Eastern Conference. So let's check in on our Utah Hockey Club. Are they in the playoffs at the moment?
I don't believe so.
No. Conference. Let's see. Conference here. They are on the outside looking in, but they have not yet been eliminated, but close. They're right there. 34. What do we say? 40 wins, 34, 29, and 12. They've played 75, so they have 6 left to go, 7 to go. So they could still get to 40 wins, could the Utah Hockey Club, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it.
You can get to 40 wins. The problem is you need to get to 89 points.
Yeah.
And right now the Blues currently sit there. You've got 9-point lead. Not that many games left to go for them right now. So I would be hard-pressed to think that Utah would be able to make up that 9-point differential. That being said, I mean, you're still looking at 7 games left. So if they were to win out, that's 14. And they got to hope for St. Louis to drop a few here and there. But it's not completely out of the question.
Right.
But it's going to take a big push.
Well, and there's 2 teams you still got to climb above. Well, 3 really. When you talk about, like you said, the second playoff spot, the second wild card right now at 89. Both wild card teams are at 89 currently, Minnesota and St. Louis. And you still got Calgary and Vancouver in front of you. But, I mean, can we call that a positive season? I mean, this is a team that hasn't won a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 34.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're on pace to finish above 500. We'll take that as a positive for the parent club of the Tucson Roadrunners.
Oh, yeah, no, you can absolutely take that as a positive when you consider the fact of like where they were just last season. I mean, it wasn't a great, amount of, wins for them, but at the very least, they're not a squad that's looking like the San Jose Sharks, where they're probably going to end up being a top 3 pick in the NHL draft again, if not maybe another, try to get themselves a lottery win this year. I mean, the Sharks have been bad for a while, but the hockey club looks like they're making a turnaround here. That'll be sooner rather than later that they make an appearance potentially in a wild card spot.
What happened to Seattle? Weren't they in the Western Finals 2 years ago?
Look, I have stopped asking questions about the insert team here and then see how they just ran it. Because, again, we did the same thing with the Golden Knights on the expansion front.
Yeah.
And then the Seattle Kraken did it. I'm going to stop asking about how expansion franchises do so well out of the gate nowadays, because I guarantee you the only sport that happens is in hockey. If you were to make a new football team right now, or if bring a new basketball team in right now, I guarantee you they're going to look like the Charlotte Bobcats or any number of bad football teams that we've seen over the past couple years. I mean, you're talking like 0-16 Detroit Lions levels of potentially bad if you were to do an expansion team right now with the expansion draft rules that are currently in place for other franchises.
Among the teams, I mean, this list of teams in the East that are not going to make the playoffs. I mean, basically the original six: the Rangers, the Red Wings, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Flyers.
The
Sabres,
Rangers not making the
Bruins.
playoffs is insane to me. That's a team that everybody coming into this year was saying that was going to be a President's Cup trophy.
The Rangers,
they were big last season, and
well,
then they've fallen off compared to where they were last season. Again, the Bruins being as bad as they are, not really that much of a surprise to me. I really think that the biggest tragedy in the East right now in regards to the playoff standings is the Columbus Blue Jackets. If again the hanging sign of Johnny Gaudreau over that franchise, that team deserves to be a playoff team, and if Johnny Gaudreau is there, that is a top 3 team in their division.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the hockey conversation. Alex Ovechkin inching on history, headed to the postseason. The Capitals are the leaders of the Metropolitan Division. I still haven't quite figured out what they did with the names of these divisions. Some of them have directions, and then you get, how does Metropolitan fit with Atlantic, Central, and Pacific? I don't know. I still have not ever quite figured that out.
Metro cities, I think, is a big thing, because you got the problem with the Metro division is that you've got like 3 of them belong to New York.
Yeah.
You got the Rangers. You've got again, not really New York, but you could basically equate it to the Jersey Devils, and then the Islanders as well. And then you've got the Penguins and the Flyers also thrown in there, as I believe that I don't think the Sabres are in the Metro. I think that is strictly they're strictly the Atlantic, if I had to remember correctly. And then there's also the Sabres are in the Atlantic, and then it's the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders. So you got 3 teams in the Metro that all belong to like the upper northeast parts of New York.
We have not talked a lot of high school sports lately, but I do want to dive into just a few things. We'll start today on the baseball side, and we'll get into softball and some other sports tomorrow. But we finally got rankings for high school baseball this week. These came out, I believe, today, if I'm not mistaken. But some Southern Arizona teams sitting near the tops of their divisions, and that's kind of cool. You've got Catalina Foothills right now, number 4 in Conference 5A. You've got Canyon Del Oro, number 6 in Conference 5A. Nogales, number 9 in Conference 5A. So not a lot of change. I mean, usually those three teams are the tops in terms of 5A here in Southern Arizona. South Point Catholic, as you would imagine, is ranked number 1 currently in Conference 4A. Walden Grove right behind them at number 3. Choya, how about the Chargers? They're number 12 in Conference 4A so far through the first half of the high school baseball season. Then you get down to Conference 3A, and unfortunately your best team there is Tanque Verde, but they're at number 10, so no top 5 teams in 3A in Southern Arizona this season. 2A, Bisbee, Tombstone, isn't that a rivalry down there? Bisbee, or it's actually Bisbee-Benson, I think is the big rivalry.
The Battle of the Bees.
Yeah, but Bisbee is number 1, Tombstone is number 2, and Benson is number 6. So the small schools in Cochise County doing very well in 2A baseball this year. 1A, San Manuel, the top team in Southern Arizona, Valley Union as well. San Manuel at number 7. And Valley Union at number 5. Does not look like any of the 6A teams. I mean, it's tough. 6A, you've got all the top teams in the Valley that generally control that. I don't even know. Sunnyside is the one of the few teams in 6A, and they are all the way down at number 31. Tucson, wow. Tucson is 40th. They haven't won a game? Tucson has not won a game? Wow. That's headline news that the Tucson Badgers baseball has not won a game this season. Gee, well, actually, they've won games. Let's see, because they only give you the games that are actually in region and freedom, but they have won a few tournament games and a couple invitational games. Looks like they've got about 5 or 6 wins, but none that are outside of tournament play. So struggles over there at Tucson High. But still, we're right in the middle of spring sports, so we'll continue to update you on what's happening with your local Southern Arizona baseball, softball, boys volleyball, as well as the tennis teams as well. Joining us now, let me make sure I've got this right shot. I bet you her camera will not be working because it hasn't been working all week. When I pop it up, of course it's not there. Cricket, yes, I need to always check this first and make sure before I go to it that I can see Cricket, but I can't see her. Cricket is joining us. Yeah, Cricket is joining us here. So, Cricket, we forgot to ask you the other day on April Fool's Day. And Dragon Ball wasn't here, so he can chime in on this as well.
All right.
Did you ever have, because we all work in this business, did you ever do a April Fool's joke on radio that got you into any type of trouble?
Nope. Nope. Absolutely not.
No?
No.
Have you ever done anything funny on April Fool's Day that got laughs or anything like that? Have you ever...
Oh, there's a laugh there. There's a story
there's
she's got.
Something there.
Well, I'm embarrassed to. It was actually this April Fool's Day. It was Monday.
Oh, wow.
I tried to prank. I didn't know if you guys would think it was funny, but I knew our coworker Buzz would.
Okay.
I'm kind of embarrassed to say what I did, but I'll tell you anyways.
Right.
I bought it was on the Howard Stern show, this like fart machine. I'm so embarrassed to say. Like our coworker likes like 12-year-old humor, like bathroom humor.
Yeah.
And so it's like this little remote control machine. And so I hid it in his studio while he was working. And like I'd walk by and hit it. He thought it was a mouse rustling around in the corner. I'm like, how does that sound like a mouse? Like, and I did it several times. And Leanne, another one of our coworkers, her and her daughter were here. Sorry, that was my fault. I moved my hand. Her daughter and her were here yesterday, and they wanted to know what it was that I had. And so I was like, "Oh, do you want to borrow it?" So they're gonna prank Isla's going to prank her dad at home with the little fart machine. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but that's just like our coworkers' type of humor.
So did you have to tell him what it was, or did he figure it out?
I had to tell him.
Oh, okay.
Like, whereas
so he never figured it out.
I tried to do it again, and then I heard him say, "What is that?" Like I was standing around the corner, so he couldn't see me.
So it was loud, though?
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was a mouse.
Yeah, he thought it was something rustling around. I hid it behind the door, which I thought would be a great thing.
Oh my gosh!
It kind of worked. It kind of didn't.
Okay. Well,
so
see, there you go.
What about you guys? Any pranks for you?
So I told the story of mine. My first job in radio. So April 1st, 1992, I did a morning sportscast. It did not go over well with my boss. I did a morning sport because I was working in a small city market. I was covering mostly high school sports. And it kind of had to do with high school kids betting on games and throwing games. Yeah, that did not go over very well.
It was not a good
I told Jay, I said, not only did I get called into the principal's office, as in my boss, I got called into the principal's office.
Oh,
at
ouch.
the high school.
At the high school too.
At the high school too. Yeah, it was not good. My boss was like, if you ever pull anything like that again, you'll be on the first locomotive out of town.
Take it home.
Exactly. So never again have I done anything crazy on April Fool's Day. Be careful if you're out there.
Yes.
Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With busy areas across town like Sunrise Drive, west of Swan, some slowing on Campbell at Prince. Westbound Speedway approaching I-10, northbound 6th Avenue approaching I-10. Some slowing on the southbound I-19 frontage road approaching Irvington on Valencia westbound. Approaching and passing I-19, some slowing southbound I-19 at Sahuarita Road. 46, the overnight low, 25% chance of rain tonight. 64, partly cloudy tomorrow with a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, and 64 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Let's bet Duke. I'm Sammy Peep, here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Duke is a 5.5-point favorite over Houston in the round of 4. They should win, and they will be favored in the national title game. The price right now at BetMGM, minus 110 to win the whole thing. I still think it's worth it. They are winning next Monday night. I'm Sammy P from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. And please, gamble responsibly.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
If you can't be at the game, then you should be at Dave & Buster's. It's the best place to eat, watch, drink, and play. Watch your favorite team throughout the entire tournament. Take a walk on the $1 Million Midway where you can play the biggest and newest arcade games. So when your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's. Watch all the sports you want. They have massive HD TVs, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson is heading into the final year of his current deal with the hope of getting an extension done that'll keep him in Cincinnati. Hendrickson saying on the Pat McAfee show Wednesday he's been a little disappointed with the team because communication has been poor over the last couple of months. The NFL's sack leader in 2024 added he just wants to know that the Bengals are willing to commit. Meantime, pass rusher Calais Campbell is heading back to where his career began for his 18th NFL season, agreeing to a one-year contract worth up to $7.5 million with the Cardinals, according to NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. The 38-year-old was Arizona's second-round pick in 2008. Eagles owner and CEO Jeffrey Lurie says head coach Nick Sirianni is on his way to a new extension after leading the team to a Super Bowl 59 victory. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Come on in to Total Wine & More. Prices much lower than a grocery store. Spirits, wine, beer for a whole lot less. Walking down the aisles makes you stop and say, yes! From mixing cocktails to a friendly get-together, Total Wine has everything you need, and more. With the lowest prices and best selection for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on, with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th Gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
As a veteran, I live with health impacts from my service. VA gives me exceptional care and helped me gain the best quality of life.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov. Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, it is a big weekend for Arizona Wildcat track and field. The Jim Click Shootout and Multis are going to be happening this weekend over at the Drockman Stadium. Pleased to be joined by the longtime head coach, track director for the University of Arizona, Fred Harvey. And Fred, this is as big a weekend as you guys have, not just because there's a meet this weekend, because there's a whole lot of alumni coming back for this one.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes it really exciting because we're moving into a different era in terms of collegiate athletics and what we're trying to do with our sport, and the Jim Click Shootout for us. It kicks off a beautiful weekend towards our championship goals. We have from this weekend we'll have 7 weeks to the Big 12 championships, and to be able to celebrate all of that, being in the new conference with well over 100 alumni from over the years are going to be here this weekend.
That is unbelievable. Who are some of the people that are going to be back from the trackside?
Well, you have Tanya Hughes, will be here. Michael Bates. We don't talk enough about him. Dave Murray, he lives here, but he'll be here, as a part of the, the reunion, as well. My very first recruit that I ever signed here at Arizona back in '87, Percy Knox, will be here as well. We have, hopefully he is able to show Matt Justo, who was an Olympian in the 5,000 meters, is scheduled to be here as well. So, we have a really nice cross section, of ex-student athlete and alum that are going to be here.
We're chatting with Fred Harvey. He is the track director here at the University of Arizona. Fred, you mentioned obviously Michael Bates, out of Amphi High School, Olympic medalist. You said that we don't talk about him enough. What do you want people to know about what he meant to this community, what he meant to this program, for what he was able to do as a track and field, a world-class track and field athlete?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tie a whole lot of loops together. And when you think about the backfill that they had at Amphi High School, back, I believe Michael might have been a sophomore that year, but John Volpe was in that backfield, Mario Bates and Mario, and then Michael Bates. every single one of those guys played at the professional level, and they were all in the same backfield at one time or another. For Amphi High, his sprinting ability. The thing that I think is really most impressive about Michael is when he came to the U of A, and we recruited him to sprint and to play ball. And after his sophomore year, we thought he had an opportunity to make the Olympic team. And his strength, as far as a young man, person to accept the challenge of making an Olympic team, where, he wasn't on the radar at all. You had Carl Lewis, Michael Marsh, Michael Johnson, and he had to knock off someone in that group to make this Olympic team. And what he, the scrutiny that we actually took, like, why would you encourage a young man to do that? He's going to be a professional football player, and he's not an Olympian. And that's the thing that I remember most about Michael. And he was one of the the strongest individuals mentally, physically, and he had great faith.
Chatting with the head coach, track director for your Arizona Wildcats, Fred Harvey. It is Alumni Weekend coming up this weekend, the Jim Click multis and shootouts. And we've been talking, obviously, about some of the alumni that are going to be coming in town. But you mentioned this is kind of the kickoff to the, even though you guys started the outdoor season last week, a couple weeks ago, actually, again, in the Willie Williams Classic, you'll start to ramp up towards the Big 12. How is this change going to be different for track with this being in this new conference?
Yep. Well, I mean, for us, it really doesn't change in the sense that, we still have to go through the same stages, in terms of qualification. We don't have dual meet season, so we don't have to travel to West Virginia for a dual meet, or Iowa for a dual meet. Like Iowa State, for a dual meet. Where it changes at is that we have more schools now in the conference, and with bringing ourselves into the conference, and then BYU, Oklahoma State had already been there. The level of distance running has exponentially just really increased. And adding Colorado to that fold as well. The sprints, hurdles, jumps are the Pac-12 is more than equal to what we're seeing in this conference. What I do say, the big change that the conference teams here are a heck of a lot more serious about the conference championship than they were in the Pac-12. It means the world, and so you see everyone from Baylor to TCU, Houston. They're ramping up, man. They're ready to go.
I've been hearing a lot about this fabulous young freshman pole vaulter that you have, and that's a sport maybe or a discipline maybe that we haven't had a lot of athletes to talk about that could do special things. But tell me a little bit about this freshman Jatiah Muhammad on the women's side and what she's all about.
Yeah, I mean, first, as a young lady, she's definitely a person that you'd absolutely just fall in love with. I mean, she's caring. She's an unbelievable teammate, and especially considering her accolades. Coming out of high school. I mean, she'll break our school record. No pressure on her or our coach Dom. But she'll break that thing. Within the next few weeks. I'm very, very confident in that.
Next few weeks.
Yeah, she's like she was attempting at Willie Williams. She was actually attempting the school record.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she is that talented. Dom and I, we're serious, but we joke a lot. It's like, look, there's certain people that are just designed, to do, certain activities and are predisposed to being in certain events. I mean, when you look at her, she's tall enough, she's fast enough, she is naturally strong, and she comes from, a great developmental, process with, her dad coaching her, as a young lady to, up until the time that, she arrived here in Tucson.
And obviously, Arizona has always, at least Arizona Track has always been a program that has prided itself on the hurdles. Tell me about your hurdlist. It looks like you've got some young men who potentially could do some things with Zach Eckstein being one of the tops in the 110-meter hurdles.
Well, I'm super proud of Zach because one, he was a walk-on, from Desert Vista High School. He was very patient in terms of, buying into the training protocol, and he just got better and better and better. And last year, going into the outdoor season, you really seen his his development, and the beautiful thing about Zach and all my hurdlers is that we live by the 100,000 rep rule. And someone asked me, what the heck does that mean? Like, well, you remember a guy named Tim Tebow, and they said he's going to go to the NFL and they're going to change his throwing mechanics, and he's going to be the world's greatest NFL quarterback. And all the biomechanists just laughed. It's like, are you completely out of your mind? You realize how many reps it takes to change a neurological movement? And sure enough, and in football especially, when it all breaks loose and these guys are trying to smash you in back of that line, you're going back to what you know best, And so all the reps that we do in the hurdles, are predicated on a certain movement that we want, and so we replicate those things, at least 3 to 4 times a week, and it's the same movement. It's just that repetition, that we want. And going to Zach, he's bought so much into that, and the recovery and restoration process that that he has to go through, because there's a lot of stress on your body. And he wanted to break the outdoor school record in his first competition. He got, very, very close. And, at that point, it was the top time in the country. Right now, I think he's sitting about 4 or 5 right there in that area. Legal time, I think he's still number 2.
There you go. It sounds like, again, we've got a great group of youngsters out on the track side that'll be getting going. What are some other things that folks will want to know about this weekend coming up, Fred?
Well, always, we are, we throw, and we throw far here. We threw far before I arrived here, and those are areas, the shot and the disc. Our men's throws group, and they threw down the gauntlet and the challenge, if you will, that they're going to score the most points at the Big 12 championships, amongst them, for the team chase. And then, okay, well, that's, and so the challenge is on, and, let's go get that done. But, the shot disc, both men's, women's side, we're really, really, really talented, in those areas. Taylin Weiss, who's going to have her first long jump, tomorrow afternoon. We moved over from long jump, triple jump to the hurdles, this year, and she's run one of the top three times in the conference, top 8 times, in the country in the 100 hurdles. But she's going to open up this weekend, in the long jump, and I think people are going to see something really special out of her. As myself, my coach Dino, what I asked him to do, I want him to take care of all of her technical, aspect. I'll take care of her lifting and running and all of those things. But so the one thing you have to trust me on is that I need you to switch her takeoff leg. It's like, okay, you have to help me with this one, Coach, because that's crazy. Okay, I need you to switch it because I need her takeoff leg to be her exact same leg that she uses as her trail leg in the hurdles. Okay, so we're going right back to my 100,000 rep rule. Okay, we have to duplicate that thing in whatever manner as many times as humanly possible, and the takeoff in the long jump is exactly the same three-step takeoff that you have in the hurdles, and she does that every single time we run over hurdles.
Unbelievable precision right there from Fred Harvey. It is the Gym Click Shootout in Multis. Gets going Friday morning with the field events at 10 a.m. and then the running events in the evening at 5 o'clock. Saturday back starting up at 8:30 and 9 out on the field. Running events begin at noon. Looking forward to an exciting weekend, Fred. We appreciate you coming on and tell us all about it.
No, I definitely appreciate us getting the time to be able to talk about our program.
Fred Harvey, he is the track director, longest standing head coach at the University of Arizona. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With busy traffic this afternoon, light freeway slowing for westbound I-10 approaching Ruth Ruff. River and Campbell busy northbound and westbound. Backups on southbound Campbell at Prince Road. Also busy for traffic on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells. 46, the overnight low, 25% chance of rain tonight, 64, and partly cloudy tomorrow with a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, 64 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
Knocked away and grabbed by Jaden Bradley. On the run to the bucket, slam it home.
As the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Bounce back to Basehart. Drives to the bucket and slams it home.
Oh, he took off, Brian. Outside the lane. How did he dunk that?
Love, mid-court. Shot is up. Good. Love has hit a three. We're going to overtime.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing?
Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. Adam Schefter said yesterday that it's starting to feel like the Cleveland Browns will pass on Shedeur Sanders. Schefter then also said it's starting to feel like the New York Giants will pass on Shedeur as well. So if that's the case, that Kenny Pickett or potentially even Kirk Cousins will be the starting QB in Cleveland, or Russell Wilson will be QB1 in New York, then I'll be the first one to say that it's already starting to feel like the Browns and Giants will be picking early once again come the next NFL draft. I'm Zach Gelb.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Heading is much lower. Wow! Enthusiasm tonight. Great job here. Pelle Larsson bursting by Hauser and then getting on top of the rim as the help comes over and finishes with that Swedish hammer.
Eric White lobbing for Tatum, intercepted by Hero. 3-on-2 break. And now the Celtics get that. Larsson faking, now firing. Kaboom! Pelle Larsson. 16 points in the game for Larsson.
Pelle Larsson, Arizona basketball class of 2024. We'll often see this in the National Basketball Association, kind of tail end of the season. Guys will start to get a little extra run. Young guys will get some run. We've seen that with some guys before, and he's really taken advantage of his run. He's gotten 30 minutes the last 3 games for the Miami Heat, who have all of a sudden, after how many did they lose in a row? They lost like 10 games in a row or something of that nature. They've won 5 straight. So apparently they've figured out things now after the departure of Jimmy Buckets to Golden State. They've won 5 in a row. Pelle's played 30 minutes or more in 3 of those 5 wins. He's got 14 points, 15 points, and 16 points in those games, shooting well over 45% from the floor and 4 of 9 from 3, which equates to 45% for Pelle Larsson.
Yeah, a good couple of games for Pelle, but so far not necessarily the best start for him right now as they're going up against the Grizzlies in Miami right now. 2 personal fouls going into the first half of the first quarter. So getting a little bit too handsy there with the Memphis guards, it looks like, in the early part of this game.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that for one Pelle Larsson. Let's hear from his head coach, Eric Spoelstra, on how Pelle has really kind of started igniting things for this offense.
Pelle is an ignitable player. He makes things happen. He makes it out there. The steals, the deflections, the hard plays. Those are momentum shifting plays that he has a knack for. And he spends so much time in the gym that the rest of his game is getting better. The playmaking, the shooting, facilitating. He's a really interesting young guy.
Pelle Larsson again, averaging just under 5 points on the season, 4.5, 2 rebounds, shooting 45% from the floor overall on the season, to go along with what he's done the last 3 games, averaging 15 points per contest. He's also dished out 13 assists in those 3 ball games. Eric Spoelstra on his 16-point performance last night.
Pelle, continues to gain confidence. He's been putting in all the work, and you can see where his skill set has gotten better, but it still comes down to his intangibles. He just does a lot of winning things. Tonight, it showed up in the box score. A lot of times they don't show up in the box score, but his offensive game is growing. His confidence is growing. We want to continue to feed into that.
Good to see for Pelle Larsson. The pros play here. Our chance to look back at athletes who have graced our presence here in Southern Arizona and now gone on to bigger and better things. Pelle Larsson in his first season with the Miami Heat. The pros play here, currently sponsored by Nobody. You want to sponsor that? What's the call? 520-887-1000. Time now for your BetMGM Network play of the day. All right, Fred. This is sponsored by somebody. The BetMGM Top Play brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Play of the day is taking Steph Curry to go over 24.5 points against the Lakers. Steph has put up big numbers against LA, averaging 29 points over 3 games against the Lakers this year. He's also been even better since the break, averaging 27 since the All-Star game. Let's hope Steph continues to cook and scores at least 25 points. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Well, Steph Curry is averaging 24 points per ball game, or close to 25, and he scored 52 last time out against the Memphis Grizzlies. But he only has, other than going back, if you go back about 6 games, he only has one other game in that stretch where he scored 25 or more points, and that's back on March 15th against the New York Knicks. In the 5 games after that, or 4 games after that, I should say, he scored 20, 17, 23, and 13. Not having to do, again, you look at his numbers really since March 10th, he hasn't had to do all the heavy lifting now that he's got Jimmy Butler there. So before that, he had scoring games of 32, 40, 28, 21, 29, 56. But not having to do necessarily all that Dragon Ball, all that heavy lifting now that he's got a little bit of a new running mate.
Well, not have to do all the heavy lifting and also not having to attack the paint quite as much as he had been earlier in the season. Now, the biggest thing about that, you talked about the last time he scored over 25, which is the game against the Knicks on the 15th last month. Do you want to know what the other thing that correlates between those two?
What's that?
It was the last time that Steph Curry hit 8 free throws in the game. He had 8 free throws against the Memphis Grizzlies, a perfect 8 for 8. Against the Knicks, he was 8 for 9. Every other game since, he had only gotten to about 5 free throws in each of those games where he got under 25. So if you want to see Steph Curry get to over 25, you got to hope that he's going to be attacking the basket and going after the Lakers, who, to be honest with you, let's be perfectly frank here. If he's going up against Luka Doncic, guess what? You can probably bait Luka into a couple of fouls there on the drive just because Luka's footwork on the defensive side of things, still not what you would want to see out of a guy with as much talent on the offensive side as he has right now.
All right, so Lakers tonight against the Warriors. Steph Curry, 25. It's actually at the Desert Diamond Casino. It goes 25 plus points is the bet at minus 118. So your $12.90 play will net you $10.96. Now, we did win yesterday on our 2 baseball plays. Red Sox over the Orioles. We won on that play, the money line, taking the Red Sox over the Orioles. And we also won on the money line. Actually, we won on the run line last night, taking the Phillies over the Rockies. Shouldn't you win every night on the run line, taking somebody over the Rockies?
Well, you mentioned that. Here's the thing. The Rockies might have the best starting ERA in the major leagues right now. The starting pitching for the Rockies is at a 1.16 ERA. But the biggest thing about that, I talked to some friends of mine who watch baseball, and they're like, how have the Rockies got such a good starting pitching staff? And I asked them, have they played at home yet? And they said,
no.
Oh, no, it's all been on the road. Like, there's your answer. They can be as great of pitchers as they want to be on the road. The minute you get into that hitter's welcome sign that is the Rockies field, whatever they might have to call it now. But once you get to play games in Colorado, you will see that ERA dip drastically down. 100% guaranteed.
A lot of high strikeout games last night. We talked about Zach Gallen getting 13. Zach Wheeler for the Phillies had 10 in 7 innings of that game. And in the Red Sox game, Garrett Crochet had 8 in 8 innings. So we are now 8-9-1 in our new season of 162 plays. And we are still in the minus, though, on the winning side. We are minus $18.18. We'll talk a little bit of the college because David won't be with us tomorrow. So we'll get his thoughts coming up on the weekend and the Final Four. And I'll give you some of what we've got on that as well in the next half hour, the next hour in the 5 o'clock hour. That is, though, your top play for tonight. Steph Curry, 25 plus points. Head on over to Desert Diamond Casino right now. Minus 118 is the odds. So your $12.90 bet wins you $10.96 if Steph Curry has a big night against the Lakers. That is your BetMGM Network play of the day, and it is brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle. All right. Much more coming up. We'll hear from Danny Gonzalez in the 5 o'clock hour, defensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats football team. We'll get his sense on what he's got at the linebacker position. Some new bodies in there. Dragon Ball, though, has everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona, as well as sports around the world.
Well, around the campus, some pretty quiet day around campus for some activity, but the lone activity going on for the U of A sports scene right now is the men's tennis team able to come up with a win over the Utah Utes. That's a 4-0 sweep over the Utes, so congratulations to the Wildcats men's tennis team. Tomorrow, we have the beginning of the Territorial Cup series between Arizona baseball and ASU up in Phoenix, so the first pitch expected around 6:30. You'll hear that game here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Softball back home at Hillenbrand against Oklahoma State tomorrow. First pitch at 6 p.m. there. Also, the gymnastics team up in the northwest part of the country, much like the men's basketball team was earlier this year, as they were going up into Alaska Airlines Arena for the NCAA regional semifinal up in Seattle. Good luck to the Gym Cats in their big meet tomorrow. And a big return for the Cardinals as they agreed to terms with defensive lineman Calais Campbell. This was a 1-year contract on Tuesday. And Campbell comes back after spending time with the Jaguars, Ravens, and Dolphins after having a 9-year stint with the Cardinals back in 2008 to 2016. Also, other news for the Cardinals, they've officially signed tight end Trey McBride. McBride now becomes the richest tight end in NFL history with the Arizona Cardinals there, so congratulations goes out to him. The other Arizona professional team going out right now, Diamondbacks currently down 4-1, 3-run deficit there for the Diamondbacks up in New York. And the Reds and Brewers currently tying at the top of the second with 2 outs there. Other games that just finished, the Red Sox beat the Orioles 8-4. The Rockies lost to the Phillies 3-1. And the Astros beat the Twins 5-2. And I'm Dragon Ball with your Wildcats Radio 1290 2020 Sports Update.
I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. Play of the day is
From the
taking
Auto
Steph
Nation
Curry
Honda
to
and
go over-
BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collision Broadway and Campbell reported Broadway Boulevard and Campbell, some slowing at the intersection. Valencia and 12th Avenue in Valencia reports of wires down and westbound slowing on Valencia at 12th Avenue. More backups westbound Grant Road at I-10 and on westbound Speedway approaching Main Avenue. For your weather, 46 the overnight low. There's a pretty good chance of rain this afternoon into this evening. 64 tomorrow, partly cloudy with about a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, and 63 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
But again, Caleb Love now taking over the game.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust, Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything, from making the claim to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Call for your fast free quote today. Call 800-289-6215. That's 800-289-6215. 800-289-6215.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4214. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-4214. That's 800-575-4214.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Territorial Cup Series hits the diamond this weekend.
Pitch to Kane, hit deep to right field. Looking up, and it is out of here.
It's the Wildcats and the Sun Devils in Tempe. Game 1 coverage begins Friday night at 6:15. First pitch, 6:30, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. No one is talking Roadrunners, Sugar Skulls, and FC Tucson like us. We are Southern Arizona's #1 sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
3rd and 2. Murray to his right. Nice grab by McBride. The pitch and catch to his steady tight end. Murray for his man. And the long national nightmare is over for Trey McBride. Touchdown.
Trey McBride is now the highest paid tight end in NFL history. Did I hear that correct?
No, you heard that right.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, you heard that right.
I mean, and look, I get it. Usually it's the person that has the most recent contract in sports is going to be the one that is probably the most highest paid ever. But wow. Well, I mean, and no, I like Trey McBride. Don't get me wrong. I like him. He's a really, he's probably the second or third most talented person on the Arizona Cardinals offense. But the highest paid tight end in NFL history now at $19 million per season average, which is almost $2 million more than Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean,
more than George Kittle.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know.
More than all these other tight ends in the NFL that were in the conversation for leading the league in touchdowns.
Yep. I mean, again, that's how it works. Last one to get the deal is usually going to be we've seen it on the quarterback side ad nauseum. The last one that gets the contract is going to be the highest paid of all time. This will keep this young man under contract through the 2029 season. Trey McBride. He's just 25 years old, so still very young. Second-round pick out of Colorado State just 3 years ago. Caught 29 passes as a rookie. Then in 2023, 81 catches, 825 yards. Last year, 111 catches, 1,146 yards. Made his first Pro Bowl. 111 receptions. That's the fourth most in the NFL last year. And his yardage was 11th overall. So over 2,200 yards receiving in 49 games since coming out of Colorado State. Trey McBride of your Arizona Cardinals, now the most highest paid on average per year tight end in NFL history.
I just know that there are two teams that are screaming at the Cardinals for making this deal. One of those being Detroit, the other one being Buffalo.
Yeah, who's the Detroit guy?
Detroit, Sam Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta.
And then you've also got Dalton Kincaid in Buffalo.
Yeah, I would absolutely have Laporta above McBride.
And Kincaid's not that bad either. I mean, both of those guys, I would say, are in that top tier of young and up-and-coming tight ends that still have a little bit of that get-up-and-go. I hate to say that Travis Kelce looks old and washed, but he did not look like he had that same level of energy and quickness, that little twitchiness that you guys talked about not too long ago earlier in the week in the show. But Travis didn't have the twitchiness that you used to see from him in the Super Bowl. And then same guy in Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews doesn't really have that twitchiness. In fact, he's not even the best tight end on his own team, I would argue. I'd probably put Isaiah Likely above Mark Andrews in regards to the tight end hierarchy on that team. But I know Detroit and I know Buffalo are both looking at this deal and thinking to themselves, we are in for a world of hurt when we got to make some tough decisions. And I know for Buffalo particularly, it's going to be rough because they're at a point with their roster, they seem to have a difficulty in keeping wide receivers to play with Josh Allen for a long period. Because as far as I understand, Amari Cooper is still a free agent. And Stephon Diggs is not there anymore.
Right.
So where is the pass catchers for Josh to help him get that little extra oomph that he needs to get into the AFC representation of the Super Bowl. And again, he's been in the championship game, but I'm sure he would prefer to be representing the conference in the Super Bowl than just playing for the conference championship.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. What do you think about Trey McBride being the highest paid per year contract average, $19 million, in the history of the National Football League? 520-848-1290. Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play football, men's basketball, baseball coming up this weekend with Brian Jeffries on the call against Arizona State. Get the latest news on your teams and more all in one place. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play, or text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290. I'll send you a link, and you can download our app. The Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Home Solutions. Show the Wildcats Radio 1290 crew the 1290 app on your phone. If you see us out, we're going to tell you how you can enter to win $100. Only at official stops. Visit WildcatsRadio1290.com/winmoney to see what's coming up. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from T-Money. You're on DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, DK, when you say $100, you sound like Dr. Evil from back in the day.
There you go.
Hey, so to answer your question, I don't even know who Trey McBride is. It sounds like some country dude playing at the Pima County Fair. I don't even know who this clown is. Who signed him to $100 for, who signed that? Who's giving him that contract?
The Cardinals.
Wow.
Your guy, Michael Bidwell.
That makes my day. Yeah, and he's not my guy. That's great. As a Niner fan, I think this is precious. Yeah, good. All right, go ahead. Go ahead and do that. But also Travis Kelce, he is not old and washed. He's old and fat. And Niner fan has been saying that for a long time. So yeah, it's a good day until we pay our quarterback way too much money. I'm just gonna laugh.
So who's your team? Who's your team?
Oh, he's
T-Money?
He's a 49er.
Oh,
man.
you're a 49er guy. Okay, yeah, that's right. Because there's been talk about your guy getting a deal.
Yeah, which he doesn't deserve it, and he doesn't deserve to reset the market. That's just crazy, and I don't know what's happening in Santa Clara right now. But I can distract myself with other teams doing stupid stuff for the time being.
T-Money, Trey McBride had over 200 more receiving yards than Marvin Harrison Jr. last season. And
wow.
and 49 more catches.
That's great. That is great. So, yeah, go ahead and reset the market with that guy and say goodbye to your defensive line and continue to be the Arizona Cardinals.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Say goodbye to our defensive line. We just signed Calais Campbell.
Okay, he was good almost a decade ago.
Calais Campbell is
Calais
back.
Campbell and him and Charles Haley. And, yeah, man, that was –
I'm sure Darnell Dockett would love a reunion tour.
Exactly. Bring back Darnell Dockett. Let's get the club
him and
back.
Howie Long.
Let's get the club back together. I love it. T-Money appreciates you, brother.
All right, gentlemen, take care.
All right. Calais Campbell coming back on a $5.5 million deal with a max value of $7.5 million. 38 years old, second-round pick by the Cardinals in 2008. Played 9 seasons, as you heard Dragon Ball say at the top. Has bounced around a little bit of late. Jacksonville, Baltimore, Atlanta last year with the Miami Dolphins. But, hey, still had 12 tackles for loss and 5 sacks.
It's hilarious.
Last season.
It's hilarious to me for looking at Calais' career going up to this point after his stint with the Ravens. I had up to this point then thinking, okay, well, he's going to be there as the veteran leader. He's going to teach the young guys how to be professionals in the NFL. He's now on his 4th team doing that same job because he did that with the Ravens. Like, okay, you're one of the older guys. You were a part of an older generation of defensive linemen. You're going to teach these young guys how to play. Okay, now you're in Atlanta. Now you're gonna try to teach these guys how to rush the passer because we need a pass rush. Okay, now you're with the Dolphins. Now you're going to have to teach these young guys how to bounce back from injury. And okay, now you're back with the Cardinals. Now teach these guys. Like, he's been teaching young guys for 4 different franchises up to this point, and now he's back with the Cardinals to likely finish the career. And what a career he's had. I mean, all flowers go to Calais for a tremendous career when he chooses to hang it up. I'd be surprised if we see him get more than 5 sacks that he had from last season.
Well, we'll see. We'll put that on the docket and see if he over under 5. Well, once we get closer to football season, maybe we'll do a question of the day on that. 520-848-1290. All right, Dragon Ball, you won't be with us tomorrow. You'll be on baseball duty. So we've got the national championship weekend coming up for both the men and the women. On the men's side, we've got we got Brad Evans from our BetMGM network partners. He gave us a parlay, Duke, Florida, to the title game at plus 132. So if you bet Duke and Florida as your 2-team parlay, that's plus 132 right now. So you can get plus money on that. Who do you have in the title game, and who do you have winning it all?
I've got Houston over Auburn.
That is not Duke or Florida.
No.
Let's see. Let me see. While you explain yourself, I'm going to pull up the lines on that parlay.
I think for the sake of the argument, I think Houston's defense is a bit more than what Duke can handle. Again, a lot of the Duke guys, they're young. We've been talking about it for a long time in that Cooper Flagg is a great star. So is Knipple. But the problem is that you need that foundation guy. You need somebody to go ahead and be the guy to just calm things down and bring things in when games are getting tight and getting tough. And I don't know if Proctor's going to be able to be that guy for Duke. I think Houston's got just enough veteran leadership, and the defensive savvy of Sampson's crew there is going to be more than Duke can handle. I think that Auburn is just going to be able to just survive a heated battle with Florida. I mean, if Broome can play even to 80% of what he's capable of, I think that he's able to push Auburn to be the winner in that conflict. But once you get into that Houston game, the wear and tear on Auburn is finally going to get to a point where it just breaks. And I think that that's what makes Houston take it, that they're more built for it, I think, is the best way of explaining it. I just think Houston will be more built for the championship game rather than Auburn in that in the final for me personally.
All right, well you are taking the 2 underdogs. So if you want to do a 2-team parlay,
these are all 1 seeds, DK. There are no underdogs here. There are no underdogs anymore.
Yeah,
we gave that up in the Elite
all
8.
top 10 in both offensive and defensive rating for as terms of Ken Palm. So these not a lot of ways to get around either of these 2 teams for sure. All right, so if you take Auburn and Houston as your 2-team parlay, like Dragon Ball says he's taking those 2 teams to reach the finals, that's plus 571. So if you're $12.90 bet there, that'll net you $73. So that might be a good play there.
All right.
Lay Dragon Balls, Auburn, and Houston.
If you lose money, it's not my fault.
Exactly. Gamble responsibly, as they like to say. Individual odds to win the NCAA men's tournament: Duke at minus 110, Auburn at plus 450, Florida at plus 270, Houston at plus 400 right now. Those are your current odds as they stand. All right, we're going to hear from Danny Gonzalez. He is the defensive coordinator for your Arizona football team. That'll be next. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Golf Links and Kolb Road, westbound I-10 at the Ajo off-ramp. Also wreck reported eastbound Ajo at 16th Avenue. Wire down reported Valencia and 12th Avenue, westbound backups there. Slow down southbound La Cholla at Ajo, and more usual backups for Ajo and Mission.
46 the overnight low. There is a very good chance of rain this afternoon into this evening. 64, partly cloudy tomorrow. Chance of rain tomorrow. And 63 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Midcourt, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring is on its way to southern Arizona, and while we're hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather, we know extreme heat comes next. So right now is the time to get your car or truck road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard? Or make sure your battery can make it through another summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help. With decades of experience here in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save big on the brands you love, like Michelin, and get big rebates like $100 back on Cooper tires. Plus, buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper's new Pro Control Series tires. You can stack on even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. Check out jackfurriers.com for all the promotions and details, and even more money-saving coupons on top of our already low prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Whoa! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched saving show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. We'd like to salute basketball star Haley Van Lith, whose collegiate career came to an end this week when her TCU squad lost in the Elite Eight. Van Lith spent her first 3 college seasons with Louisville before transferring to LSU. After an up-and-down year in Baton Rouge, she transferred to TCU. This season, Van Lith shined with the Horned Frogs and was named Big 12 Player of the Year. She also led TCU on their deepest tournament run in program history. Van Lith is also now the only player to ever reach the Elite Eight with 3 different schools.
I'm sitting up here now with women that I love and a coach that I love and a team that I love, and we're sad that we aren't going to see each other probably next week. So my journey has been crazy. I'm super grateful for it. Wouldn't have had it any other way.
Congrats to Haley Van Lith on an outstanding season with TCU and a remarkable collegiate career. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on West.
With Marriott Bonvoy, take your game day rituals on the road. No matter how you show your team spirit, find a stay for your style when you explore our entire world of hotel brands and experiences. Marriott Bonvoy has a brand for every kind of fan. Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Explore more at marriottbonvoy.com/NCAA.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Arizona football spring practice number 8 today over on campus. So we are now turned to the halfway point and are headed down towards the end of spring ball. 1 more practice this week, 3 next week, 3 the following week, leading into the showcase on Saturday, April the 19th. Let's hear from the defensive coordinators. First-year defensive coordinator, second year on staff for your Arizona Wildcats, Danny Gonzalez, who dealt with a lot of injury last year as a part of a member of the defensive staff coaching the linebackers, and he's got some new blood in that linebacker room, having to replace the likes of Jacob Manu, who has moved on. And among those guys he's gotten is Blake Gocher, who was the top tackler last season in FCS, the football championship series, as well, is in that room. So let's hear from the defensive coordinator on the additions to his linebacker room.
They're long. I mean, if you look at Riley Wilson, he's got a big old lower half, and he's 6'3". He can run. He's athletic. Max Harris is a really talented football player in the middle of the field that runs inside out. And then Blake Gocher, at any level of tackle, whether it's Pop Warner, FCS, FBS, Power 5, you have 162 tackles in a season. That's unbelievable. So I think we've added some significant depth there. Tay Brown has been outstanding the first 3 days of practice. Chase Kennedy's been outstanding. So I think our linebacker depth and personnel, I think we have a chance to do some really special things in that room because of what we added. And then you've got the younger ones, Jabari Mann, Stacey Bay, and then Flo, who we decided to redshirt last year to give him a chance to develop. He's a little bit hampered up. The sucker's so strong, he's almost too strong for his body. He did a couple really good things today. We'll see how that progresses as spring goes along.
Michael, it seems like Chase Kennedy is playing more of a true linebacker position this year. Is that accurate? And what is just the adjustment going to be like for him?
With Chase Kennedy and Riley Wilson, when we're in our 3-down stuff, both those guys can play on the line of scrimmage and be a dominant defensive end type. And then Riley was very similar up at Montana. Dom Lalesio is our fourth defensive end right now in that group. So between those 3, Dom we took him off the ball and ran some inside stunts with him today. If our best 4 players are 4 D linemen, then Chase Kennedy will be off the ball a lot and we'll move him around. But to be multiple and to give those guys to give the picture to the offense to be some organized chaos. If those guys can come from everywhere, line up on the line of scrimmage, or come from depth, it creates a lot of uncertainty for what they expect. And I thought the back end was really good with this guys. Today, we'll continue to try and give Noah fits that way, but that's kind of where we see Chase's role, being able to play on the line of scrimmage and off because of his athletic ability.
In terms of the transfer portal, you guys were able to keep some key players in terms of Trayvon Stukes and Dalton Johnson and Genesis Smith. How key was that for those guys to come back and just the leadership in that room?
What we've been able to do coverage-wise, and this is the fifth school that I've installed this defense and done some of those things. We've got Genesis Smith right in the middle. I mean, we're going to call him the bear. He's got some development pieces, what we do coverage-wise both, and is he good enough to stand up there and be a little middle linebacker at times? He looked really good doing it today. Dalton Johnson did some of that for us last year in certain situations, but Dalton and Trayvon are really athletic and can cover in space. So those are our two cat safeties. Those three pieces right there, just the experience that they bring back, and then their ability to teach the young guys behind them. They obviously love the University of Arizona, and they made their visits and they made their choice. And those three kids are so fun to be around every single day. Trayvon is doing phenomenal in his recovery, which is awesome. We'll have a chance to see him in fall camp. And then the other two, their leadership ability is phenomenal. And so Coach Arsenal's doing a great job with those guys in the back end, installing a couple new things and being able to cut routes and do all those things in the coverages we ran last year.
And you've added some guys on the staff too. What's it been like working with Coach Bridwell and Ronnie Palmer and some of the other new guys?
So Josh Bringrell, our new linebackers coach, he played for me at San Diego State when I was the defensive coordinator there. And then he was a GA in the system there at Syracuse and Nebraska with Tony White, who went with me to the school up north when we left San Diego State. Really good players. Energy is tremendous. Does a phenomenal job. And schematically, obviously, he knows exactly what my expectation is from being a player and coaching in it. Ronnie Palmer's got a bright future. I mean, did a phenomenal job as a head coach at Monterey Peninsula Junior College. The energy that he brings, and he's been working with Coach Salavea up front. Obviously, was a great linebacker here, and his ability to teach is impressive. And obviously, they were very successful in a job that hadn't had a lot of success, so he did something right. He did a great job in recruiting, and he's already helping us in that role here. And then his personality meshes really well with both mine and our players, and so those two have been great additions so far.
You guys went into the offseason and looked at some things that you needed to work on. What were some things on that checklist?
Most important was depth. We didn't have enough depth. Obviously, you saw when injuries happened last year. The guys that were coming in weren't good enough to compete at a high level to win games in the Big 12. And so some of those guys got some experience that will help with their development now and will be great for the future. It just wasn't at the current time. And then, so obviously we added some depth there. We needed some more length, and we needed to be more explosive. The twitch that we have up front with some of those guys, I mean, Trey Smith's having a great offseason. He put on, I mean, what people don't realize is the difference in resources and from where he came from and where he's here. He put in 30 pounds. I mean, he showed up here at 240 and he played at 270 last year. And now that he's had a full year to get in the weight room, and I gotta commend Coach Carroll on our offseason, our first 8 weeks of the offseason. We had 19 guys on defense power clean over 300 pounds. That's phenomenal. Okay, that's really good for a football team. I'm going to have to challenge Coach Dagey and see where they're at. I forgot to count up the offensive numbers. That explosive movement right there gives you a chance to be very violent on defense. So obviously getting stronger and through those pieces, and I think our strength staff did a phenomenal job, and the kids bought into it to get stronger. We needed some explosiveness up front between getting Tia Savea back, Deshaun McKnight, Malachi Bailey, all those guys that we added, Leroy Paulu, Chancellor Owens, that we added, and if I apologize to them, they can get after me on Tuesday if I forgot their name. Those guys, Chancellor Owens squatted 600 pounds 3 times like it was nothing. They stopped him. They wouldn't let him go up anymore. So we've got some guys that can do some things up front that they're twitchy enough to move around, and they'll be hard to get off the ball. if you're not good up front, it doesn't matter what you have behind because they're just going to maul you and beat you to death. I think we have some strength up front. Now we need to develop it into good football players. And the tenacity of who we're going to be, I mean, that's instilled every single day. Like I said, I wish it was 110 degrees outside because make it 130 on the turf. And I think that's our advantage. When we play here in September, it's going to be hot as heck. So we got to get them ready for that when we have those opportunities. I mean, we can practice in that nice indoor every single day. It's air conditioning, it's lush, and I mean, that doesn't make you face adversity. And so the toughness mindset in recruiting, the explosiveness, the strength, and then length. And I think we've addressed all those issues. Now we have to get them to know what to do and how to do it.
2 questions. I know it's super early, but in an ideal world, how many defensive linemen would you play?
Anywhere between 7 and 9. If a really good defensive lineman is getting 30 to 35 snaps in a game, I mean, people don't realize how tiring and exhausting it is, as strong as these guys are up front, to have a 300-pounder leaning on you. So if we can get a rotation where we're playing our really, really good guys, 35, our next tier, 25, and then we got a couple that are sparing and gaining and developing at that time. But I can tell you this, in critical moments, your best players have to be on the field. So in that 35-play rotation, when the game is close or the game is on the line, or you have your middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and first 4 of the third quarter, your best players have to be conditioned to be able to be in the game at that moment. And so ideally, if we have a good rotation of between 7 and 9, we would have a chance to be pretty good and keep those guys fresh and healthy.
Yeah, the other question is, I've asked Coach Brennan about this, but tackling is obviously something that people just don't do it very much anymore in spring practice or training camp settings. How has that evolved over the years, and what do you think of just the way that it's approached nowadays?
I mean, that's a very controversial topic. In the NFL, they don't tackle in practice because they have 4 preseason games that they get to live tackle and play and see those things. We don't get preseason games. And our guys are not developed to the point where they're NFL players. I mean, people got to remember in the world of this revenue share and NIL, these are still undeveloped players that are coming in at a time where they need to be developed and learn how to play the game at a high level. And I'm a firm believer of the only way you get good at doing something is actually doing it. You have to tackle, you have to do those things. But you've never had $1 million players running around on the field too that you take a chance of losing somebody and it makes a significant impact. So sitting in Coach Brennan's chair, it's it's harder to make that decision of whether or not we're going to scrimmage or not. Both myself and Coach Deggy, we're going to try and push that envelope as much as we can. But at the same time, I don't have to stand at that podium and answer the question when Genesis Smith or Noah Fafita gets hurt. So you have to be smart with who you do scrimmage, how much you do it. I also believe, in a sense, that when you go full speed, you tend to have less energies if you're not good at practicing full speed and staying on your feet. Because most of the injuries happen when people fall on the ground, they fall on somebody in a drill that's not live. Live bullets, oftentimes you don't have as many opportunities because everybody's at high alert. So it's a really, really touchy issue. I think part of the reason people are canceling spring games is because of that, because you're not going to have a 150-play scrimmage. And then there's also the stealing piece, where people that have more money are going to be able to buy players. And it's easy in today's world to touch somebody on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat. I mean, it's insane. So what we want is guys that want to be here, that want to play. There's an opportunity for them to make money in this day and age, which is phenomenal, which if they're smart. And I think one of the things that TB does with Beyond Football here, and what gives us a chance to recruit high-level athletes, is the opportunities that we're sharing beyond here, which is, I mean, these kids, they have an opportunity in this 4 years of their life to make some money that very few people in this world from 18 to 22 make. And if they just invest and put it away, they can be set up when they're 60 and have millions of dollars in the bank because of what they're able to do. But they have to be educated on how to do it, and they have to be willing to do it. So there's great opportunities with that. And that was a long tangent on what do you think about scrimmaging. But I mean, that's what leads these conversations and why it becomes so controversial.
I've said before, you can really see why Danny Gonzalez was a head coach, because he talks up there like he's still running his own program. He's very good at explaining it, the intricacies of what's happening within a football program. It is DK on the Sports Tip. We're going to hear more from Danny Gonzalez coming up, and as well give you our Desert Diamond Casino replay. Right now, it is Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. 44th Street and 6th Avenue, traffic signals malfunctioning. That is causing some backups. Traffic on 6th Avenue on the south side of I-10 for backups. More slowing Ajo and Mission, southbound and westbound, and heavy backups on southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. Collisions eastbound on Ajo at 16th Avenue, also at Golf Links and Kolb Road and Golf Links. 46, the overnight low, chance of rain tonight into the overnight. 64, partly cloudy tomorrow, and it is 62 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sure do love this time of year.
Me too. People smiling at each other, sun is shining.
Everybody singing those holiday songs.
Holiday songs?
We're talking about Alaska vacation season, right?
Yeah, but
there aren't any Alaska vacation songs. Oh, wait.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Like angels from the heavens.
Not even close to that.
But when Alaskan AC performs our exclusive Alaska vacation, it's primed and prepped for the coming summer heat.
And every Alaska vacation comes with our guarantee of no breakdowns all summer long.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Still no angels.
But people love singing it. Come on. If you want your AC to last...
No.
Do we have to sing? Yes. All summer long with an Alaska
No.
Okay, but don't come crying to me if you Scrooges don't get anything from the Alaska Vacation Bunny.
If you want your AC to last all summer long, with Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just... she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
7-7 bottom of the ninth. Wildcats would love to end it right here.
As the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
2-2, and it's lined to left for a base hit. Breifogel's going to be waved around third. Here comes the throw from Hartman. It's headed home. He slides. He's safe, and the Wildcats have won it. Mikalakis, RBI single.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Some are saying that teams picking early in the NFL draft should pass on Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and wait until next year to take a swing at Arch Manning. One problem, though, Adam Schefter recently said there's no guarantee that Arch will declare for the draft next season. So even if Arch lives up to the hype this college football season, and especially with the current climate of NIL and how particular the Manning family could be, I wouldn't be shocked if you have to wait a little bit longer for Arch. I'm Zach Gelb.
It's March matchup season at BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Lock in your picks for this year's tournament with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Being on the sidelines is one thing. This March, get into the game with exciting state-of-the-art live tracking technology, exclusive sportsbook selections, and so much more. Check out BetMGM Originals for dozens of markets you won't find anywhere else. Take a shot at our exciting free-to-play games for your chance at scoring odds boost tokens, bonus bets, and many other prizes. Plus, new players can score up to $1,500 in bonus bets if their first bet loses. From the big dogs to the underdogs, March matchups at BetMGM is a player's best friend. Sign up to catch the excitement and experience college hoops like never before with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. Arizona only. First bet offer for new customers only. All other promotions for existing customers. Subject to eligibility requirements and rewards may vary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Diamondbacks trailing against the Yankees in the final game of that three-game series, 9-3, top of the sixth. Cousin Merrill was awful tonight. 9 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. On 9 hits, he gave up 3 home runs, including a 3-run home run the first to Aaron Judge, and solo shots to Jazz Chisholm, as well as Mr. Trent Grisham. So not a good night for my fantasy team. I went from down 12-2 to up 8-6 because my offense and pitching dominated yesterday, and now Cousin Merrill has me back down 9-4. Still time. Let's hear some more from the defensive coordinator for your Arizona football team, Danny Gonzalez, who was asked if he'd ever dealt with an injury year like what his defense went through last year.
Not that drastic, and this is having to sit in that seat before. And I tell you what, being a head coach and then coming back, I mean, I'll be the best damn assistant there's been in a long time as far as helping the head coach with things. When you get that many injuries, and last year it was ACLs, or you get people that it eliminates, obviously there's something that needs to be looked at. And everybody in this, in their world, you want to protect and make sure, is it something we're doing wrong? And I want to give Coach Carroll all the credit in the world. I mean, we went to doctors, we went to scientists. Is there something within this that we need to fix? And made adjustments throughout how we're doing things. And you have to give the individual a lot of credit, because there's a lot of people in this world that believe in something. They're like, no, that's wrong. That's not the problem. And Coach Carroll is as high level of, we're going to do everything to maximize our gentlemen as we can, our student athletes in this program. So I've never had that kind of an issue. And obviously the depth wasn't good enough, because if you look at how we played against Utah, where we had a full rack of our team, and then we lose Keenan Burnett and we lose Traden Stukes, and then we lose Gunnar Maldonado the next week, and then we lose Jacob Manu. I mean, it was just a roll of, And then you got guys that are going to be good enough someday, but they weren't good enough for the moment at the time. And we were good enough to be competitive in most of them, but obviously we weren't good enough to be competitive, especially with the team up north. So that was something that was addressed and needed to be fixed through recruiting.
And my second question is, from afar, what's it been like watching Trey Smith work with Joe Salovey, and what do you think his coaching can do for a player like Trey this year?
It's going to be phenomenal. Joe Salovey is the best D-line coach I've ever been around. He's a fantastic recruiter. I mean, I think I said it up here when we first had our press conference when he was first hired. I've had to recruit against him for years, and now being on the same team is unbelievable. His development pieces and what he's done in a short time with that group up front is astounding. Trey Smith has a ton of ability. I mean, last year his ability was to bull rush and be a bull in a china cabinet and just destroy everything on his path. And now we're giving him some tools and some counter moves to be able to do those things. Tia Savea has done some unbelievable things in a short time with Coach Salovey. The opportunity to have a four-man rush and actually get to the quarterback in a time that Coach Salovey has got some tools that's going to help some talented guys. You don't have to have the most talent. You have to have enough talent to be really good. And we have enough talent. Obviously, it takes a little bit of luck to stay healthy. Now we got to get them to be relentless, be violent with ill intent, which is the game of football within those white lines, and teach them how to be that way, but be great young men off the field. That's the greatest thing about being a football coach, is that world out there on that grass between the white lines it is so fun if that's the kind of stuff you enjoy. And it's really fun and encouraging to teach them how to be that way, yet be a great husband to their wife, or a great father, or great friends to their teammates. And it's why we do this. Now, you have to have an edge to yourself if you want to be good on defense. If you want to be a good football player, and Coach Daig's going to have the same, very similar message. You have to have that edge that you want to physically destroy anything in front of you and play with a manner just with bad humor. And that's the message that they're hearing every single day. I mean, excuse my language, you have to be a badass to be good on defense. And if that's what they're hearing every single day, and they're willing to push through whatever adversity it is in their life, then their life after football is going to be significantly easier than somebody who hadn't had to fight adversity in their life. And this transfer portal has changed fighting through adversity, has changed chasing through a depth chart. I can pick up my ball and go home now really easy. But the ones that decide I'm going to do this and I'm going to be great here and I'm going to listen to that and just be that piece, that's who we want here at Arizona. And that's why we're going to be good on defense. I mean, our goal is to be a top 15 defense in the country. Do we have enough talent? We do. Now it's our job to coach their tails up and get them to play hard. And if they believe in what we're doing, we're going to be damn good.
All right, that's Danny Gonzalez, the defensive coordinator for your Arizona Wildcats. I like that guy. I like that guy. I said it at the end of the last segment. I love the way he kind of presents the game of football. We had Dwayne Aquina in that position last year. Love Dwayne Aquina. I like coaches who give me sayings. Dwayne Aquina had spill blood. Dwayne Aquina had pour water, instant player. Danny Gonzalez just gave us violent with ill intent. I like that. I like that. You got to root for guys like that. Danny Gonzalez coaching up your Arizona Wildcats defense. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. All right, don't forget, Wildcats Radio 1290 presents Easter Sunday at the Pima County Fair. That's coming up on April the 20th. Get free admission until noon with 3 cans of food. It's also a wristband day, just $30 for unlimited rides until 6 p.m. Pima County, or Pima, this says Pima Country Fair. It should say Pima County Fair. Who writes this? PimaCountyFair.com or call 762-FAIR, F-A-I-R. I don't know what the numbers are on that. F is 3, A is 2, I is 4, and R is 7. For more information, the Pima County Fair located 1 mile south of I-10 on Houghton Road. You can see the Easter Bunny. There'll be treat bags for the first 500 kids under 10. Baby Shark, do-do-do-do, will be strolling around the grounds, do-do-do-do. And a lowrider car show. Bum, 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 bum. All right, all that is coming up on April the 20th. 3 cans of food gets you in free Easter Sunday at the Pima County Fair. Time now for your Desert Diamond Casino replay, brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet. Desiree Reed-Francois, Athletics Director at the University of Arizona, was talking about the career fair earlier this week on Monday night, and how if you hire an Arizona Wildcat to work for you, you will not be disappointed.
We were so proud of the way that they came together. We were so thankful for our community. You're right, we had almost 80 employers there. The student athletes had practiced like networking and elevator pitches for the 2 weeks before. It was a really special event. And you know, we talk about in the athletic department, we want after student athlete graduates, 100% of our student athletes to have a job or be in graduate school. And this is one of those steps to ensure that. And hey, we know it's a hard economy. We want to do everything possible to position our student athletes for success. They are incredible leaders. People see them as what they do on the court or in the water or on the field, but these are incredible leaders that are resilient. They know how to make others around them better. So employers, hiring a student athlete, you will never be disappointed.
That is Desiree Reed-Francois with your Desert Diamond Casino replay. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. It is Arizona's best bet. I always defer to the smart youngsters in the building. I forgot to ask her what an elevator pitch was. Dragon Ball, explain it to the...
You end up going into a hotel and you end up in the elevator with Steven Spielberg. You have 10 to 15 seconds to pitch your movie idea to Steven Spielberg and try to see if he'd be willing to go ahead and take your idea and run with it.
Okay. I would have failed miserably at that type of thing. Miserably at elevator pitches. That just is completely outside of my personality. But thank you for that, Dragon Ball. Thanks to Desiree Reed-Francois for joining us. Thanks to Fred Harvey for joining us. We'll be back with you tomorrow. DK on the sports tip. For cricket, for Dragon Ball, J-Dub was off tonight. For Priscilla, as well as everyone else, I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With 44th Street and 6th Avenue, traffic signals malfunctioning. Backups on 6th Avenue at 44th, also at the eastbound I-10 6th Avenue off-ramp. Collisions at Orange Grove and Shannon, Grant Road and Swan. Eastbound Ajo at 16th Avenue and also at Kolb and Golf Links. And some slowing on southbound I-19 approaching Irvington. 40-60 overnight low, pretty good chance of rain tonight. 64, partly cloudy tomorrow, and 62 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. If you have a spicy side, Taco Bell now has a menu to match. Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. Try it today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Whoa! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Nobody covers your cats like we do.
Touchdown, Arizona.
With press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play, we bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour. Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Mas.
The Territorial Cup Series hits the diamond this weekend.
Pitch to Kane, hit deep to right field. Looking up, it is out of here.
It's the Wildcats and the Sun Devils in Tempe. Game 1 coverage begins Friday night at 6:15. First pitch, 6:30, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We talk Diamondbacks baseball daily.
Overall, inside of our culture, it's built on love, trust, commitment, and effort. And I think love is the glue to all of it.
Love, trust, commitment, and effort. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and...
Listening to the JR Sport Brief.
It is the JR Sport Brief show here on the Infinity Sports Network. Thank you to everybody tuned in all over North America. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a great end to your Thursday. I'll be hanging out with you for one more hour. This show gets started every weekday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And we've had a fun show. Thank you so much to Los Angeles Rams safety Quentin Lake for coming through and joining us. Yeah, this man was named the captain last year, was second on the team in tackles. They turned things around, went to the playoffs. Quentin Lake says, don't be shocked if we go on a Super Bowl run. Also, speaking of champions, we had a great chat with former NBA champion, former NBA player, two-time All-Star, Florida Gator, David Lee. Came through and joined us as well. Yeah, two great guests, David Lee and Quentin Lake. If you missed any of the conversations with those two, go ahead and hit rewind on the free Odyssey app. You can listen live on the Odyssey app. You can get pause and rewind. Thank you so much. Thank you to people listening live on your local Infinity Sports Network affiliates. If you got Sirius XM, you could tune in on channel 375. And if you got a smart speaker, go ahead. Ask the speaker to play the Infinity Sports Network. You want to call up? You can do that too. We got a brand new fancy phone number. 888-710-4ISN. That's 888-710-4ISN. You can find me online at JR Sport Brief. Thank you to our producer helping to hold things down, Jack Carty. And we've talked about a lot. We just heard LeBron James just, I don't want to say get annihilated by Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady's like, oh, LeBron is not a great one-on-one player. Okay. If you say so. If you say so. Also, Marcus Morris is tearing down Nikola Jokic. What else is new? Nikola Jokic is one of the greatest basketball players ever, and people are just ragging on him. Why? Because he's from Europe and he doesn't talk or fraternize. And then we had some big news that we discussed as well all throughout the NFL. Like Trey McBride, tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. He got paid today. Take a listen. This is some breaking news via Adam Schefter while he was on ESPN. Listen to this. He got paid.
All right, Lauren, moments ago, the Arizona Cardinals reached agreement with tight end Trey McBride, making him the highest paid tight end in NFL history. A new benchmark deal, 4 years, $76 million, including $43 million guaranteed. That's a $19 million per year average, which becomes the new threshold for tight ends.
Yeah, that man's making bank. Arizona Cardinals did a good thing by giving him the bread before the price went up. Yeah, Arizona Cardinals, they might be a mediocre football team every year with a small quarterback who's injury prone. Sorry, Kyler Murray, it's just the facts. But at least Trey McBride is getting paid. And let's see what he can do with another full season of Kyler Murray, a second season of Marvin Harrison. Like, they should go out there and put up points. Like, putting up points is never their problem. It's just also playing defense for an entire full season and actually playing full games and not a couple of quarters out of them. Congratulations to Trey McBride, now the highest paid tight end on an annual basis in the NFL until, I don't know, until somebody comes by and jumps that. It's quite possible. Oh, it's going to happen. Just the facts. Also, somebody else who got paid today, congratulations to Geno Smith. Not only did he get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders, where he's now been reunited with Pete Carroll, Geno Smith got himself a 2-year contract extension that will pay him $85 million total. And so he got a boost in salary. On an annual basis, he's now making more than $42 million a season. And there's no human being happier and prouder of him than Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, before the deal was done, was chatting it up with Sirius XM, and Pete Carroll couldn't do anything but just wax poetically about Geno Smith and how hard he works.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that for the organization and for my own, want to win and all that. He can win, and he's a good player. He really cares. He's so competitive. I know him so well and really love the kid, and we went through, you have a guy stay with you for 4 years not playing, and he wants to play in the worst way, and it burns in his heart, but he hung with us, and he, finally all the things happened so that he got to start, and he's done great.
Wow. He's done great. Yeah, well, he has. He's gotten paid. I don't know what the hell he's going to do, out in Las Vegas. I expect them to be mediocre. Let's be real. By the time the Raiders are competing for a championship again, Geno Smith, they will probably have that guy on a scrap heap, and then Pete Carroll will probably be retired. Come on, Pete Carroll is 73 years old. What's not being said out loud and publicly is the Raiders are trying to just put a stake in the ground for the future while still being competitive. They're like, hey, let's try and swing for the fences while also establishing a decent culture. These Raiders aren't doing anything. When I say anything, I mean winning a championship. They still have to compete in a division. with the Kansas City Chiefs. They still have to go out there and compete in a division with the Bolts. I'm calling the Bolts because they probably still should be in San Diego. I'm referring to the Chargers and the team that we spoke to. It's just the Raiders don't excite me. Congratulations, Brock Bowers. You're going to get a lot of passes from Geno Smith, and eventually you will make more money than Trey McBride. Good for you there. Also, big news today. I don't know what the hell LaShawn McCoy was thinking. I don't know. He confused Joe Milton with somebody. But Joe Milton is on his way from the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have themselves a backup quarterback for Dak Prescott, who year after year after year, and season after season after season, somehow, some way, gets hurt. I mean, Joe Milton, he wouldn't be no backup in the NFL, I don't think, if he didn't suffer an ACL tear back in Tennessee, but he did. He played one game last year for the New England Patriots, so we haven't seen a lot of him, even at the NFL level. But somehow, some way, LaShawn McCoy thinks that Dak Prescott, despite having a no-trade clause, despite making an NFL high, $60 million a year, LaShawn McCoy believes that Dak Prescott needs to watch his back.
I'll just be honest, man. Listen, if Dak Prescott has a postseason like he's always had, going to that next year, right? Dak, find a realtor. Because Joe Milton got talent, he can play. And I'll say this, y'all laughing and all that. I've seen other quarterbacks.